thanks Marcel and Tim, aka the Beeb Magnets, for having a sit down after the New Zealand Airsoft League Championship final. Congratulations to winning the championship. Yeah, I mean, for me and John, it's a big relief from a admin side of things. But it's like it's been. I was having this conversation with someone just today, which is we take on the challenge of doing it. We don't play, and there's always going to be a part of us that's like feel a little bit stink about it. But like anything that you do in life, when you have to put a lot of time and energy into it, when you get to see the fruits of your labor, that's really, really rewarding. And as you guys know, there has been some big challenges, and there were some challenges even after the final to sort through. But even then, it's still super rewarding. Like I think it was at least Wednesday the following week, I actually had the realization that we did the thing, because we're so entrenched in it, and it's like day to day, week to week, month to month, and like even before the championship final, we're already planning out the 2026 season. So it's not like, oh hey, it's over, like hooray, let's go party and just like cut loose. It's like no, we get back to work the following day. And I think it wasn't until Wednesday I like messaged John, and I was like, dude, like we did it. Like oh man, like I just hadn't even thought about it until that moment, and I was like, oh man, we managed to pull it off. And it's it's something that we had never done before. But it's hard to find those moments where you're like, cool. Because it's like, oh, when's what? We're already getting messages like, when's the dates for the 2026 season? I'm like, and like it's exciting because I'm like, people want to know. Wow. Like that's why they're messaging. I'm like, it warms my heart when I get messages like that, because like not all the messages are like that. So it warms my heart. But I'm like, I literally had someone today.
When are the dates, John?
I can't tell you. That's what the other person was trying to get out of me as well. They wanted to know what was going on for the following season and where each round was going to be, which is really, really cool that people were reaching out and asking the question.
I want to plan this calendar and plan their year own.
Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, because airsofters just plan ahead these days.
Totally.
we don't.
They have to work up the brownie points to attend, so they need to start putting them in the stockpile. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fair point. Yeah. Like if people are going into it with the idea that they're going to be attending the 2026 season, it's like fair to be like, and that's our approach as well. Like we will be releasing the 2026 season before 2026, so people can actually look at it and go, cool. Like this is, for the teams that are going to compete for the season, like, they need to know. And that's one of the, and that's how we wanted to do it as well.
I think the Jonos, need to pat yourself on the back because you've not just run an event this year, you've run at least three events, and we know you've done more than that. But that consistency in getting people to show up and running those events, most people do like one event every couple of years and feel that's fully overwhelming. So the fact that you've done 3 rounds of the NZAL in 1 year, and I know you have ambitions to do more in a year, but man, you guys need to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, and that's what I mean though. Like it was like, all right, we did 3 events in the year, and you know what else we've got? We did OPAF this year.
Exactly.
There you go, man.
I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And Jono goes, wasn't that last year? I'm like, no, we did that this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, and like we did 3 events in 3 different regions, which again we haven't personally done.
And you've attended as sponsor or as a store to another 2 or 3 on top of that I can think of.
Yeah. See, we forget about all this stuff because we're like too busy.
It's quite a lot of setup with the skirmish stuff if you're doing it in a new place. Like, so you had the skirmish at OPAF, but you'd already run the system at TAR, and so it's like, that's already in, that infrastructure's already done. So it's a little bit easier in that respect. But then you go to a new place, you got to start from scratch, and you got to set up all the Wi-Fi, and then you did it even at the showgrounds. But there's a whole like a half day or a day of setup.
Just getting the things, wasn't it, for you to set up? You had to go up to Auckland at least twice before.
So what people don't know is for each round of the Airsoft League, we went to those sites prior. So we dedicate a weekend, we'd travel up to that site, we fully set skirmish system up and test it to make sure that we're not going to run into issues, because you know on the day of the event we can't have those issues play out because like we're so restricted on time. Like we've got kind of like small contingencies, but if there's something catastrophic, like we're screwed.
And I think what's been amazing from that prep for you, I don't think there's been a single issue that I have seen with the skirmish system at an event.
Like a major game breaking sort of thing.
Sometimes we'll get just a device just won't be communicating correctly, and basically we just wander over. Someone will tell us and we just wander over and reset it, and it's fine again. But you're right, we haven't had any kind of catastrophic failures, but like we've got like contingencies, like we've got spare units ready to go, so if one just absolutely shits itself, we just go out there,
or
replace
gets crash tackled into the oblivion.
I've literally seen that like in every single round.
Drop kick it, that's how you get your points.
It's funny because it's like in the moment, like I can see it happening, and I'm like, I know what's going through that player's mind. They're like they want to do the hero move that's going to magically like save their entire team. And I'm like, nope, doesn't work. It's like the system's good but ain't that good, and all I'm watching right now is you potentially like doing a full rhino charge into like some expensive equipment right now, and it's, you know, no one's damaged any of the units yet, but yeah, they do try, bless them. It is quite funny watching, and it's you know, and we had a few of those moments, me and Jono, just like laughing our heads off as people just face plant themselves into the swamp.
Was that on
specifically?
Purpose? You're just looking for little snippets that you can film with people.
Casey from Whiskey Squad, we watched him. Like I was super impressed to watch him do his thing, but we also watched him run flat tack towards that swamp, knowing that there was absolute peril by him doing that, and there was like maybe a 5% chance that he would make it through, but no, he just ran full speed through the swamp. Leg went up to his leg went up to his knee in mud, and he just face planted. But it was such a good moment because he was so dedicated to the cause that he, in a split second, had pulled himself out of the swamp and was moving. And to his credit, he captured 3 devices by himself.
Wow. Oh, was that in the initial rush?
I think.
I don't think so.
Sprint.
I can't actually remember what day that was. But it was super, super impressive. But what you brought him to a stop, and because he captured those 3 devices. He went up the hill and had to have a small rest. But when he came back down, from our kind of viewpoint, he was actually coming up behind some players. And I'm like, oh, the sneaky devil, he's going to get them. But no, I didn't see you until it happened, but you were there and you just caught him off guard.
Yeah.
And I was like...
It was down by 0.6. He was coming from 7 to 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he was on an unstoppable run for a wee
going
while.
to snipe Nora because she was down in the trees and she was a bit more obvious. And then I sort of realised, oh, he hasn't seen me. So I went in as far forward as I can and just waited. And the next minute he comes down, he was looking that way. And got my little pistol and pew, pew, pew. Got him. It was a great moment.
Yeah.
And we desperate run up the hill to get that point, which
almost
was the dying seconds
almost,
of the game.
Yeah. It's we had so many moments just from like an airsoft standpoint of like, you know, in that moment we're like cheering Casey and then we're like on the next minute he's like sneaking up behind other people we know. We're like, turn around and we're like just in this, you know, we're just there to ref.
Yep.
But you know so many people playing the game and it's just like sometimes it's hard to just stand there in silence and watch all these moments play out.
It's got to be epic though. It's got to be cool. Like you're getting some joy out of that, right? You know, just seeing these things play out, which we won't see. Yeah.
I had a few moments where I was doing something out there and I thought, well, the Jonos are probably watching this and they'll see the capture point way in the back or something and they'll go, oh, who's that? And they'll look and, oh, that's Tim, and they'll, you know, you'll be able to see it from your laptop or whatever you're on. And I thought, well, yeah, there had a few moments where I think the Jonos will appreciate this. Yeah. Or the dying few moments or whatever.
Yeah.
You see it in a way that we only really see a little bit of it.
And you're
seeing a lot more.
Yeah, it's so it's such a different viewpoint between being a player and like I always feel real torn because I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm really missing out. But yeah, you're right. Like there's a real entertainment in being able to watch airsoft, which is not something like when we go and do airsoft, like we're never watching it. From it, like you kind of have those moments where you have a bit of a step back and you're just observing what's going on, but it just seems to be from a very different lens. Like it's more like from a tactical lens versus we are just observing what's going on and getting like entertainment out of like, because we're like third party, right?
Yeah,
and we're just watching these players do their thing and we have zero influence on that, and that's sometimes why it's hard, because it's like if you're a player and you've seen that happening, you'd be like, Marcel, no, stop, like, you know, and you'd be like yelling at the top of your voice.
And I wouldn't hear you and still get shot. As it normally goes.
Yeah, and it's like, no, we just have to like, it's almost like you're watching TV. It's like you're just like watching it, and you're not there to influence any kind of outcome. You just have to see it happen.
I think it would be like watching paintball. The Disney Plus has now got that paintball championship thing. Trying to watch that. It's so fast. I can't see what's going on. I'm trying to pay attention. But from an airsoft perspective, because things are a little bit slower, that would be really cool. Again, the way to film all that would be a lot more technical.
Yeah.
But you could see that. Like you could see those moments playing out and actually be able to see it happening in a grander scale rather than missing it, because there's so much happening on a field of 6 guys just blasting each other so fast.
Yeah, hard to capture because of course you don't know when they're going to happen. So you can be there with the camera.
Yeah,
but you don't know if what you're filming is going to be epic or just a bunch of dudes standing around.
So you're only going to experience that being on the field and watching. You know, in the current environment, that's the only way you're going to get. Like, so you guys have a unique perspective of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been thinking about lately in terms of game design in general, and with airsoft, but just in general, is that like you make, this is probably true for all art, you make the thing that you want there to be more of in the world. So you've created the game, ironically, as the one that you want to play, because you're like, this doesn't exist, I want it to exist, I want to share it with people, I'll make it, and then ironically you don't get to play it, but you still like you've made the game your own, you know, you've made the thing that you want to be.
You're right. Yeah.
But you still get to enjoy it in this other way. But this is the thing, like when you like if I run a game at Airsoft, I'm like, I know what I would want to do. I make the game, but I don't get to fully engage in it. I don't get to experience it in the way that the players. Because if you're a marshal, even you might still be playing, but you're still also running it.
Yeah.
And so you're not getting it. Yeah. It's a
and
funny dynamic.
Yeah. And even we have to be careful as marshals because there's such a social aspect to Airsoft as well. Like weirdly, it's like the social side thing is such a big thing. Like if you meet a stranger and you find out he plays Airsoft, you'll be spending the next like however many hours just yarning about it. And it's like, I've never met this person in my life. Airsoft weirdly connects people. But and because of that, like our responsibility as refs is like we still have a job to do, and we can have like little chit chats, but then it's like, oh hey, like we just watched Casey fall over in the mud. That was amusing, but now we need to carry on and just make sure that we're attending to everyone on the field and things like that. But it's just interesting how everyone has a very like that they have their own unique perspective on what's going on, and that can come right down to like individual players, because there's kind of like team aspect, squad aspect, and then right down to like the experience that the individual person has, which is the most challenging thing for us, is we need people to kind of turn up with a baseline attitude so that they get the best experience out of the day, and it's just impossible. But
you're running a weird event because you're kind of running 2 or 3 or even 4 events concurrently, because you've got the league, and I noticed that at third round you had the season championship, which was really only 2 teams, and then you had the that weekend, and we realized going into it, we don't need to win this weekend. We almost certainly won't. It wasn't a case of beating anyone. It was just a case of not getting less than 55 points, less than the Predators, and that was our only goal. We were never going to beat them. There's no way. But that means that like a team that was coming from nowhere and weren't on the leaderboard at all, maybe that's their first round, they can still podium, and they can still be shooting for the stars. So that's a whole different like competition going. Killing it. And then there's the solos, and they could the same thing. And then on top of all of that, there's just a bunch of disruptors who are they're not even paying any attention. They're just there to
have fun,
sling some plastic around and lob BBs, and it's like they're not even playing the same game almost.
Exactly.
So you're trying to create an event which is
it's very
lots of different games all happening, and they all have to kind of complement each other, which is a very ambitious a thing to attempt.
It's very like on the outside it's conquest, but once you start diving into it, and you guys have done that, and that's why you understand that there's complexity to it, and it's like you can go down a really deep rabbit hole, just understanding
did a little bit.
On the practice game for round 3, I walked up and I was standing next to you, and you're like, green team's getting owned because some of their squads aren't putting effort in. I'm like, I'm not here to play today. I'm here to scope the field. I've fired a half a dozen BBs. I'm done. I'm dead. I want to look for it. So even then it was like I could almost skip the whole practice day if you let me have the field for 2 hours.
And then at the end of that, you came to me and you were super excited. You said, "Oh, that was the closest game of airsoft I've ever seen." And I think you said you guys took it out right at the end, meaning green team had been behind, and we took it out. And I'm like, why do you think I care if my faction won?
Well,
I don't care about that. I wasn't playing. And it was funny, the different. You were enjoying this epic kind of faction thing, and I was looking for where are the points.
But
where are the ways through, and what's
your whole mindset
totally
shifted,
different.
Right? That's the thing. It's like that realization after round 2 that this is another level to the game. Like we ran ragged. Well, Tim wasn't in to ran ragged at the practice day, and I'm like, we were all wrecked for the competition day. I'm like, no one play hard, just have fun, wander and figure everything out.
10% effort on the practice day, we said.
Tips for new players.
Find out where all the points are.
what we got, what was really interesting for us, and probably why I was so excited around the last game, was when we so to put it into context, we had a lot of rain Friday, Saturday morning. There's a river that runs through the left-hand side of the field, and we had it set up so there was 3 devices across the river. So you had to cross the river to get to 3 devices, but because of the amount of rain, the river was high, so we just made a decision from a safety standpoint that we just didn't want people going across the river while it was high. So for the first practice day game, the devices were on the right-hand side, but then the rain stopped, river went down, we made the decision to move them back to the original positions. So for the first practice game, the game played top to bottom, but then when we shifted those devices back, the entire game for the whole second game did change 90 degrees. So it started playing from right to left.
Right.
Yeah, it was really weird. And it was just real interesting to see the players shift 90 degrees and start playing in a whole different direction, which didn't match up to their FOBs.
No.
Like the first game was predictable because it was like,
boom, boom.
FOBs, Ivory End, and you meet in the middle. But yeah, it shifted 90 degrees, and the game the entire way was real tight. Like it could have been blue or green the entire time, and Green Team just right at the end just changed it over. So it was just a really entertaining game from people watching.
But who, I wasn't really paying attention, but like who was like playing that game? Like we were in it, but we weren't really playing. But there were certainly a lot of people who were.
Whiskey Squad they went hard the
Yeah.
entire weekend.
And I think it was like quite a lot
Predators.
of disruptors just hanging out. Or I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so, Tim.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I was just kind of exploring.
Yeah, there were like other teams that made that strategic
disagreeing,
decision
that's what it
to kind of like use the practice day as a bit of a recce, but not to physically exert themselves.
The old people.
Older people,
Dodgy knees.
Yeah,
Raw back icing on knees.
us people.
Getting that Voltaire on their
You
backs.
could smell it in the hall.
Yeah, at 3:30 in the morning.
And then there was the 20-year-olds who just turned up.
Mhm.
Going hard.
Yeah, just didn't stop. But yeah, it was just really interesting to see strategies change.
Yeah.
There was and like that pays off because on the first game of the comps, so when the land rush at the start, when you go out and try and get, we've got our plan, or we've got about 5 available to our faction, and we want to get 3 or 4 of those. And so, you're going this way, and Marcel's going to run straight up the middle, and straight into the swamp.
Yeah.
But I was on the left-hand side. My plan was to cross the river and go and get the 2 points there. And to my left were these 2 young dudes, and they look like fit, and like much fitter than me. I'm reasonably fit. Like these guys are going to dust me. And I'm listening to them talk, and they're saying, "Oh, do you know where the point was?" And they, "Oh, nah." And they hadn't been at the second game, the second practice game, so they literally didn't know where it was. "Oh, I think it's somewhere there. And do you know where to cross?" And it's, "No." And I'm like, "Aha, this is cool." They'll beat me on the flat, but if I can hop across those rocks quick enough, I know where I'm going, and I'm going to beat them. So it was that little old man craftiness. Not that I'm the oldest, but yeah. And they took off, and they just left me in the dust, and then I zipped across the river, got that point, and then started up the hill and looked behind, and they'd given up because they'd seen that I'd passed, and I was powering up the hill. Oh, there we go. So if you do the work and you do the study, you get points.
You get the rewards.
I had this similar experience in the second game where we leaving the fob, and we had the path to run. So I was happy because I had solid ground to run on, and everyone's sitting there talking about what they're going to go for. So that you can hear like you're kind of walking around the squads, and like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And like, okay, so we've all got the same idea, right? So there's these 3 points that everyone can go for. And I went, well, I'm just going to go further. So I started running, and there's one of the young guys is next to me, and he's running like out of the corner of my eye. I see him going past me, then he starts to stutter, and I overtake him, and he starts giggling, and I just keep going, and he's like, I'm done. I go up the hill, and then I can't remember who it was. One of the guys gets the top point at the top of the hill, and I'm like, I'm not going for that one. You can have it. I said to him, you have that one. and I keep on running, and I go for 4.
Mm-hmm.
So downhill into the bushes, and I get 4, and then I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wasn't gonna. I can't sprint, but I could outrun them.
Yeah.
So all those kind
You
of
can
tactics
hold
are
your
hitting you.
pace.
And it was, so if we go back, round 2, no one was doing that. We were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until the second game of the comp day that they all clicked on. And so then I was at the queue and we were going to run, and we got dusted because people knew it. And they did a similar thing. I went over the gnarly area and got 2 that way. But in round 3, everyone was doing land grab. It was just, it's now a strategy. Land grab, go for it.
It's fun. Like, it's a little mini game.
Yeah.
Like, it was
how many
cool.
can you grab?
And I did a similar thing in the second game was coming down. You know, I'm going to go here and here, and this dude just gone. And so I knew where he was going, so I just peeled off. Knew he'd take a second to get that, and then he came back, and again I just sort of skipped over the rocks and didn't beat him by much, but I could, just being faster on the rougher ground. He obviously saw that and went, well, and he gave up, and I got the next one.
I think that's one of the really interesting things for me between the 3 rounds, how the tactics change. So Tim's our tactician, right? So he's sitting with, he's got a map laid out with Lego, and he's telling us what we're going to do. And so game 1, we had not played it before, right? We came, I don't know.
We had played it there.
We did test games. We understood the skirmish system, but we hadn't done the league. So we showed up, and the team was me, Tim, Andy. We had Nate, Noble Ninja, Ben, and Ryan. Yeah, so Rye Dog. And so I just basically handpicked a bunch of people that's all my team. What's this thing? Let's support the Jonos and give it a go. And I think the first game we had, you and Andy do what you and Andy do, and you went bush, and we lost you, no comms. So we're sitting there, all of a sudden, 2 of our team are gone.
Yep.
And then we're trying to like figure out what we're doing. And I think it was like the last minute, well, not last minute, like the last half hour of the second game, we'll be here before the rain. But we started to work as a team, and we're going together, guns up. And that was the moment, the highlight for me was all of a sudden the 4 of us are doing that. We don't know where these guys are. They've gone wide. And so I was going, how do we play this game? How do we incorporate tactics for people that want to be a tight squad and the lone wolves? And we've adopted that. So Nora and a little bit of you in round 3, that was our lone wolves. So we just,
lost.
like a winger, just go do your thing. You guys run. We're going to cut up the middle. Mainly the ones of us that are a bit more tired. But round 1, there was no tactics. It was like, how do we do this? It was our home field, and it was really just trying to beat the Gawker gang. You know, that was the gang. You know, these guys have been going for a number of years. Can we compete?
We got lucky, and we got the drop on them one time.
Yeah,
I think that was the only thing that got the overlap.
Yeah,
and we wiped them. We hardly even saw them actually. And we were just kind of doing circuits around each other. And then at one point, they ended up sandwiched between us and our allies. And they just got smoked.
And then we carved through them in the middle, which was that was the fun moment for me because I got the shoot sheet. I'm pretty sure I got the shoot sheet. Who knows?
And then it gave us a 5-minute break to kind of get ahead of it. Yeah, we only didn't beat them by much.
Yeah, so I think like the learnings in round 1 was like, this is a competition, we can do this, and the technology's proven. And then when round 2 was coming, we're like, we're going to be a bit more serious about this, and trying to get the Gawker gang to come along. And they couldn't make round 2. Tim couldn't get there, and he was there in spirit and on the phone.
And then that's when I went down my real rabbit hole, and I actually pulled up the action logs from that first game, but also some of the other practice games, like the trial games. And I was like, how do these scores actually work? And I was like, look at the timestamps, and like, oh, you get 2 points there, and then this amount of time elapses, and that many, and and then that goes, and then connecting the dots, and figured it out as best I could. And then I sort of looked at it and went, oh, well, actually, there's certain things that you have to do to maximize your score, and there's certain limitations that will affect that. And, oh, actually, this thing that we thought was good is actually a really terrible idea for reasons, and so on. And then made my little dioramas. It was super fun, and my little maps. It was a great time. And then you turn up at the games, and you can immediately see which of the teams have gone through that process or some form of it, because they're putting points on the board. There's people who are playing great airsoft and they're dominating or whatever, but they're not turning that into score.
They're playing traditional airsoft.
They're just kind of and they're having a great time. But you can immediately see, yep, these guys have done their homework and they understand it, and that makes all the difference. Yeah. All the difference.
And then in round 2, so Tim had done all the strategy, and he told us like these are these things, and he created little videos on YouTube for us to watch, and had names for the play, and he's like, "You can do all this stuff." Like, yeah, we'll do all this stuff. And we got there instead of playing like, "None of this is going to work right now, Tim." He's like, "You didn't do this, you didn't do that." I'm like, "Dude, get your ass here. I mean, you can tell me that." But Mike Tyson just punched me in the face, and my pain's gone.
Yeah.
And like the big change for round 2 was the terrain. So Tar is relatively flat and full of bush, and you can get all sneaky and
no
high.
sight lines.
Yeah.
Very
And like to
close
Tim's, one of his strategies, like hide in the bushes, let them come past when they've gone and get the points. Like there's no bushes to hide in. They've literally put it in a peninsula out in the open where everyone can see you. And what was really cool, I think, for me for round 2 was we got Blair. Blair joined us, and we had Nora. So we had 2 new players. And Grant, who had actually played in round 1 but was a disruptor, he became part of our team. So we started getting people going, "Can I join the Beeb Magnets?" And like, hang on, we got to haze you. We got to do this. You've got to know. You got to
paperwork.
Yeah, you got to do this trail, and you got to bring me $5,000, and then maybe. No,
he's lying. It's just purely on vibes.
I was like, are you going to be cool to hang out with? And so round 2 for us, I think there was a lot about the tactics and stuff, but we were also talking about the sportsmanship. So I don't know if we got to those dirty tactics when we were discussing them. I think it was like round 3.
They come up because as you're doing this tactic stuff, you're like, oh, and you could do this.
Yeah, the rules say this, but if I start shooting other people on my team, but not on my squad, no, it's a rule. You can't break that one. Oh, okay. Well, what if we no? Yeah. So and then it was like, one of the things that we said is Beebs, and it was something that Tim keeps calling out. When we first started the team, I did like a post of what I wanted from a team, why I wanted to be part of a team, and he keeps referring back to it, going, well, that's the core, that's what you want to do. And it was things like having a good time with your mates and showing the integrity of the sport, promoting airsoft in a positive way, and all these things. And it's just like, well, if everyone's agreed to that, which pretty much everyone did, then playing that way doesn't meet it. That was the whole kind of thing with the challenge coins too. Like,
so it's kind of conflicting.
Yeah, well,
like
you can still play a sport and be honourable and have integrity.
You can play hard and have a good time,
and that's probably better than being an asshole and winning, right?
You can find some random loophole and exploit it because you guys haven't noticed and haven't closed it. But that's not victory. I'd feel stink if I won by some dodgy but technically legal. I wanna do it with integrity. And I'm happy if I've done that, even whether I win or lose.
And I think round 1 we didn't have penalties, which was okay because, to be honest, round 1 it was a club tightness. There was the guys from Wellington and a couple of visitors from Auckland, but quite a lot was the Tar vibes. Everyone kind of knew everybody, so you all kind of give or take, and we were shooting each other off of the "don't respawn there, I'll shoot you now." So we were lighting each other up because that's how we play at Tar, right? Yeah. And then when we got to round 2 and you had penalties done, and I played like I played at Tara, I got a penalty. Like, okay, so I got to change because that's the rules. But so I didn't. That's a different. It's not a club. It's a competition. You got to play by the competition rules, and that was another learning for me too. It's like, okay, right, I can't play the way my mates play. I need to play the way the rules dictate. And one of my goals for 3, and I don't think did we get any penalties. I think
not,
we did.
And I got my first one on the practice day.
Okay,
but not in
doesn't count
in the real game.
But you know what I mean. Like, so I was like, no penalties and no parking ticket. That was my other goal.
Because you got both last time.
$200. Yeah.
Process of being told.
But yeah, so 2 was really good in a way. It solidified us as a team. It solidified us as wanting to compete, and that new field. My brain went, I can't use my P90 on a field like this. It works for close up. And it was a different experience with the water and the volume. I think was double. Was it double the number of players from the first round?
Oh, yeah.
Or triple or double?
Probably triple.
Yeah. And so it was bigger in a way. And another thing I really enjoyed, part of the airsoft thing, was to spend time with my mates. So it was away with Ewan, who was a borrower. Thank you, Ewan, by the way. We borrowed him from Gorka Gang, and so he subbed in for us. So to be honest, we had at the time 2 subs and always stayed on the team since. But that was different. Then round 3, we had team meetings. I'd be trying to
escalated.
work. Trying to work, and then I'd look, and there'd be like 500 messages between him and Nora, trying to. They're talking about the same thing, but let's do it this way. But no, I want to do it this way. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's do it this way. And like, okay, like how about we just stop overthinking it, and then come back. There's the 50 text messages, and so we had a Teams meeting, literally on Teams, Microsoft Teams, and sat down for about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and went through stuff, and we were like, okay, I've got these tactics. And so we showed up with all these tactics and approach, and I think that actually torpedoed us in the first game. We were in our heads. We were shouting at each other. We were getting grumpy. Our comms weren't working well. We hit the swamp. Someone likes mud. Someone hates mud.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, but and there was all these things that hit that we were just building up. And I think the other thing was noticing we were being targeted. And like, we just want to hang out and have fun. We're not competitive, eh? And all of a sudden there's the Beebs, and like 2 of us would show up, and then 20 people come after us. Like, what the hell? And you get owned. And
it was definitely felt like people were tracking our locations.
Well, that's only natural when you're at the top of the food chain.
And then we came back at our lunch break, and you walked over and like, and you went, so if this wasn't a competition to go home, yes, I'd be going home right now. And then we all got together and we went, fuck it. We're thinking this. We need to just have fun. And so we were like, let's just have fun. And it's really interesting because I'm doing my footage at the moment, and there's a clip where Tim, I've not kept it all in, but I'm trying to decide if I do, but I'm like, hey, let's just go for this. Let's just assault it. All just run. And Tim's like, what's the point? They're just going to roll us and take it back, and you're giving away points. And then Tim's having a conversation in his own head because he goes, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. He's like, let's do it. He's like, no, let's not do it. No, let's just do it. Okay, let's do it. And then he runs down the hill, and he's like, run away.
I ran down it. There was a dude with a minigun, and he didn't hit me, but I just watched, like, here to Marcel away. A stream of plastic crosses my vision, and I'm just like, yeah.
And he runs back up the hill, and then he's like, he's been taken out, and Tim's like, attack, and then Tim runs down the hill, and then you get lit up.
It was I think he had the minigun, and then maybe his buddy picked it up.
There was someone else,
there were 2 of them.
and I'm just trying to lay fire down. So the fun started coming out.
We got to actually squat up.
And even then, like, we had a conversation about our comms and how we're approaching things, and there was misunderstandings, and so it was really interesting, like that level of strategic technical thinking did us in. So I think the first, we were grumpy in watching the footage. We were swearing a lot, but we were grumpy with each other. And then we just came back, and Laura's like, look, I just want to do this. I went, you just do what you want to do. You have fun. Please get some points. And we're going to do this. And we stuck together, and that worked really well. And occasionally see Nora, would run with Nora, but there was just the switch that we had a flick. And I think I was stewing for I think we had about an hour for lunch, and I think I was stewing for about 35-40 minutes. We're going to change it. So I went on to everybody and said, hey, look, we need to change what we're doing. Let's just have fun. So that's the captain of me, but this man's our strategy guy. So it's like, I'm going to tell people what to do, but you're telling me what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Because you got the whole thing ran away on us, like, and even over the whole season, because we formed as we just want to have fun, and you literally picked, these are people I want to hang out with. And then we won the first round, but kind of not by much, and kind of stumbled into pole position. And then we thought, well, maybe if we turn up each time, we'll have a reasonable shot at it. And then all of a sudden, we were kind of in over our heads, and like, oh, we're the top of the, we're the people to be targeted, and we're the public enemy number 1. It was just all this. It was just, like I said to the chat, it was the hardest game I ever played. Those 2 comp days, not physically, like, it was relatively tough physically, but emotionally, it's been a really tough journey, and like heaps of ups and downs, and just a lot. And there was a lot of pressure going into the third round for us. And we don't think as a squad that we're super competitive. Like, we want to win, but we're not like really super maybe hungry for it. But we had the opportunity to do it, and we just had to hold on to our lead, and it was like a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of like emotional energy. And then that first game just sucked. We couldn't do anything. We were locked in. We were not working well together. Had a couple of flashes of good moments, but I'm amazed we've really put any points on the board. Somehow we managed it, and I do think that was the residual, like, tactical knowledge of, we weren't just running around doing things randomly. We were still like capitalizing.
We're looking at the map, going, let's have a look at this here. Where we're going to go next, and where can we daisy chain?
Had that pretty good knowledge of how it works. So even us playing badly, it's still racking up a reasonable amount of points.
Well,
it all changed, and Marcel he ended up in the captain and ended up doing way too much admin, which he didn't want to do, and just kind of ended up in that role. And then in that lunch break, he said, "I don't want to be in charge anymore." He said, "You know more about this. Be in charge." And I said, "Well, I can't access my phone, so can you just tell me what points are green and what points are blue?" And then for the next 45 minutes on my comms, I can just hear 11 is blue, green has 6, 4, and and it's just constant this. And I'd say, all right, we'll do X, Y, Z. We'll go up and over. We'll go this way and down.
We're on a hill because everyone's watching us, and Tim's like, we're going to go to the left, and then we're going to go round the back, and then we're going to do a straight line, and then we're going to run away from these guys, and we're going to run really fast.
Doing like this airsoft sign language.
And I'm like, no one's watching us doing. I'm like, but if they are, this is awesome.
But we made it a long way before anyone spotted us.
Yeah, so that was like, you can see the fun coming out. Like when we got out of our heads, and I think that's like the thing. It's like you can still compete and you can still do it and have the fun. But I don't know, like that added pressure. I think that was the big thing in round 3. We weren't
really lost our mojo.
Yeah.
And as well, like say you were felt like you weren't achieving much, but then when you looked at the points, you're like, oh, hang on, no, we're actually doing okay. And again, like when you get in your head, you start being way harder on yourself, and it's like that. It's actually not reality. Like you guys are actually doing all right. You're just getting stuck in your head because there's all these expectations, and part of that is like you guys have put so much effort into like planning things out and strategizing and stuff like that, and all of that always turns to shit when you're in the thick of it, literally the thick of the mud. But it's also what and if we want to reference like the military and things like that, what they rely on when things turn to shit is all that training, all that repetition
good point.
that will get them through when things aren't going right. They're not training like, and this is life in general. Like the skill sets that I have and the jobs that I do, when that like in my job things can go sideways and there's no one else, just me. Like I have to fix a problem, and and I always say it's not a job for everyone because you have to be super resilient. But it's but from that experience, the repetitions and things like that, it's like I don't know how to resolve this problem right now, but I do know I will resolve it. It fucking sucks. Like I would much rather be at home right now. But I do know that all that experience and things that I've done in the past will just actually kick into gear, and I'll be okay. But in the moment, like I've had moments where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm an idiot right now. Like I'm the worst person to be doing this. Blah 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 blah.
You sit down for a second and you just go, this is impossible. And then you stand up again 5 minutes later and you fix it somehow.
And you just do. You have a bit of a mental reset, and you go, hey, look, guys, we need to think about this a little bit differently. Just everyone needs to fucking relax. Just go out there, just do your thing. Like your experience will like get us all through.
Farming is very much like that. You'll just be out the back of somewhere and you're like, oh crap, the tractor is upside down in a ditch, and there's nothing you can do. And like, well, what have I got? I have an upside down tractor and a boulder and a tree and a chain, and I need to be home in an hour. You just make that work somehow. Even if, I don't know. But funny story about that. I was not able to train for the comp. Like I just been so busy. Like my wife now works full time, and I'm a stay-at-home dad as of like a few months ago. It's been a huge shift when we're carving. It's very, very busy time, and days getting closer. And I need to go and like exercise because I'm not 20 anymore. I can't just turn up. 2 weeks out from the comp, I was like, stuff it. I've just got to make time. I got to just carve some time out. So kids in front of the TV, vest on, gun on. I'm just going to run around the paddock for half an hour, and then if I do that every day for the next 2 weeks, that's just going to have to be sufficient.
You'll create a
It'll
baseline.
Be something, but that'll be the entirety of my training. I managed 2 days.
When did I start telling people, are you guys doing your training yet? And I was like,
that was prior to that.
Are you guys doing any working out? Anyone on the treadmill? Because I am.
No. And so I did one day, I did the next day, and then I got a tooth infection. 2 rounds of antibiotics, couldn't even lie down, let alone run around. That's it.
And he showed up.
2 half-hour runs was my entirety of my training.
Yeah.
And then I show up, and it's a valley full of swamps. Somehow the swamps go up the sides of the valley. How does that even work? And I'm like...
It's because it's actually a spring halfway up that bank.
But what have I been doing for an hour every morning since the start of August?
Carbon.
I've been picking up carbs. I've been wading through mud, holding a heavy object out in front of me like this. I've been training for this for a month and a half.
Yeah. Just
without even realizing it.
Whereas I've been on the road and I've been on a treadmill and I've been running and then I can't do that.
I had a great time. I'm literally sitting there going like, guys, you got to stand on the clumps of grass, like pointing there, and I'm just cruising around the swamp happy as. I felt better at the end of the weekend than I did at the start physically. And I really actually quite enjoyed the physicality and the movement of it. Able to use a bit of my old skill and
you were saying about the parkouring up the hill. You were saying I can beat them up the hill because I can just scramble up that hill and they're going to hit it and stop. And you were like a monkey. I mean,
that's because you might. I know I'm a parkour guy from way back. Like I don't have the strength anymore, but I've still got the residual.
You got skill set,
and so I can tailor that down to my current level of fitness.
Yeah,
and it's like all I've got to do is beat them over the rocks, which I'm confident I can navigate the rocks. I don't have to.
You're not crapping yourself.
Yeah, and if I can do that, then I've got 5 meters on the guy. I can beat him.
But that's what I mean. Like there's you've just rattled off numerous different skill sets that you already have just through living your life.
Dad strength.
Like you just tap into that and you don't even realize it, and you're like, oh, things aren't going our way, and everyone's been really hard on themselves. But when you start reflecting, and it's like Milsim's very much the same. It's like midway through, if you talk to someone at the wrong time, they'll be like, I'm having a shit time, don't talk to me. And then you talk to them at the end of the event, they're like, man, like I actually feel like I accomplished something because I pushed myself harder than I've ever pushed ever before, and I made it to the end. And it's like that's all part of it, which is it's just not a common occurrence in airsoft.
No,
I don't want to say that we're a bunch of princesses, but sometimes we are.
We play differently. Like so, in a weekend game, you're just having fun, like literally laughing away and being silly with your mates, and there's no, you don't win anything, you don't lose anything, you're just out. And so I think that competition element shifts.
Yes.
So if you're a disruptor, you're probably just running around, or you're not, like, I don't know how to feel, I'm not coming back. Or I had a crap time, I'm not coming back. Or if you're having a good time, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And you're just doing it. We saw that. You could see the both sides of that. Like guys having a blast as disruptors, like, and in all events, like Tim, I can't remember his surname, where I had the LMG, and he's just like, I'm just sitting up on the hill, just carving into people. And he only had like 150 rounds in each of his mags.
Yeah.
So he's constantly having to go back to the fob to reload, to go back onto the hill. And
I'm so glad you bring that up, because that just like reinforces exactly why we have that rule.
I did that tick on purpose for you, so you could say
Thank you.
But it was, he was having a ball, and then like you just get that whole mix. But the competition element, like there was a point to Predator Stokes, we were getting set up in the teams on day one.
Yeah.
And we've got
that.
green bands going on, and I look over, and Stokes is in the same side of the field of us, getting the bands, and they start putting green bands, and he looks and sees that we're in green bands, and he walks over to you, and next minute he's on the blue team, and went, okay, it's a competition, like having Gene's good fun, like you can go up and have a chat to him, shake his hand, he's always chatty, but you could see he's got a game plan, he's got a strategy, and not being on the same team as us is part of his strategy. It's like, okay, cool.
We had discussed like
what would
these
happen.
are the teams we have to watch for. What happens if they're on that team, they're on our team, or they're on our team, or they're both on the other team, or if we're all on the same team? Like, how is that going to affect what we do? Which it would have. And so, okay, they're there, and they're there. Right, so that means we go with this sort of general approach.
So yeah, like that's different, right? That's
They'd
totally
obviously done
different.
the
Like,
same thing.
you know, I've run alongside Gene at OPAF. You know, when you just go play marshals, go have some fun. Like, it was awesome fun running with them. I really enjoyed running with them. But for the whole league, I've shot at them. You know, so there's been no running with them.
And you got it ups to those guys.
Oh yeah, they're going to win next year. I'm hands down.
Well,
I think they're
they're going to. I will say, I'll be quite
really well.
happy when the predators become the prey. They can experience what we experienced. But no,
your next punchline. The predators become the prey.
But fully ups to them because
they've owned us.
They achieved in 2 rounds what it took us 3 rounds to achieve. They were dominant. They fully did their homework and they turned up to round 2, and I could see from where I'm sitting on my laptop at home, like, oh, these guys have looked at the rules. And they play well, and they smoked us. We just barely held on.
I
3
think
points.
when I added that up, I was like, well,
there's a story.
But the thing with the first round is it was if you look at the amount of points that the teams were scoring on the first round, they're just worlds apart from both the second and the third round. So we won't discover what that means for a championship until the 2026 season when we see what's that?
Do you have any thoughts why the first game was
I think it was just a discovery for everyone. Because
I mean, playing airsoft, we weren't playing the league.
We weren't super efficient on the captures.
The thing is, leading up to the first round, we did, we marketed, we launched the airsoft league and we marketed it. But the reality was there was only so many people that would kind of take that leap of faith to be like, all right, we'll go see what this is all about and give it a crack. It wasn't until after that that everyone kind of was like, it created enough conversation that everyone's like, oh, okay, we need to go to that and we want to be part of that and things like that. And then people got more serious about it. I think that's why at both the second round and the third round we've seen all teams scoring very, very high compared to the first round.
It also big difference because more players is just generally going to mean more captures and means more points occurring. So when you've only got only 3 official squads, though the points the locations aren't going to change hands that often because you've got to walk from one to the next, and so it's just literally mathematically not as many points available.
Could do though.
But when you've got lots, we still have to walk from there all the way over to there. It's going to take 10 minutes.
So I'll do a plug for my own channel. But if you watch my footage on Saturday, but you'll see we stack up. So one of the gripes we had was we weren't coordinating ourselves to stack up and get the maximum points. So again, 2 points for the first capture, assists 1 point, and then 2 points. So the maximum for a team is
for a team of 6, it's 9. But it's very difficult to score 9. I haven't looked through the data for the third round, but as far as I know, it's only ever happened once.
Because you've got to get everyone there within that 2-minute time and all hit that to maximise. And then we went, well, what if you separate and you had 2 squads of 3, and well, then you're losing firepower. So there's a whole lot of things you can do, but we didn't have any of that tactics in the first one. So you just kind of clip and run.
You're clipping, but you're not realising that you're not actually getting any points because time's elapsed.
And it's like,
but you don't know that until you look at it later.
Yeah, people weren't doing like assist captures and things like that.
Well, the thing is, you might actually all be there and all tag the point, but if you don't tag it within that minute, you're not the 4th, the 5th, and 6th person aren't actually getting it.
I think there was a lot more of like just get one person to go initiate that capture and then let's just hone off to the next capture point instead of being like, whoa, get everyone to like assist so we maximize the points we can get on this particular situation.
It's the work you got to do to put points on the board. You have to work through that stuff.
And I think like the other teams drive that what's the word I'm looking for, emphasis on what you're doing, because it's like when you're going up against the Predators and they've shown themselves to be a very competitive team, it's like all right, we need to knuckle down and make sure we're capturing as many points as possible.
Right.
Otherwise, we've got no hope.
I was literally sitting there for the last half hour, and I'm looking at the scores, and in my brain, it's a 50-point difference. And I'm like, oh shit, they're like 65 points ahead of us. We need to get captured. So we're like, hammer capture, just go, just push,
do
anything.
Push.
Yeah,
literally on the
it's like, oh, we've closed it. Oh shit, and, and we're getting closer. Now they've got points, and it was just like watch. And I think it got to the last couple of captures. I think Grunter got an awesome one. That we were pushing on 2, which was down a kind of a hill in a little bit of a valley where Tim got lit up. And we captured that a couple of times, and it was changing. And then across the creek, up a little bank, and across the fence was 3. And I had closest I got to it was the barbed wire fence. Literally crossed the barbed wire fence and getting hosed trying to cross it. And I got pinned down, and Grunter, and I think Rydog had got across and got it. And he sent me a message. He's like, my highlight for me was when you said to me on the comms, have you caught it? And I went, yep. And I said to him, dude, I love you. And he sort of gave him the warm fuzzy bits, because I was like, that's To be honest, Tim and Andy said it afterwards, was every point mattered, because if anyone doesn't know the results, we won by 3 points the whole championship, 3 points difference. So every capture, every assist mattered.
Yes, anyone on our roster, because it's not just 6 people.
Yes.
If you can think of a time that you scored 4 points, like you and our Ring and Gorka gang dude, if you scored 4 points at any point in the game,
the Gorka gang
you won the season for us. Like that's
they helped the Beeb Magnets to win the championship, but did not help themselves.
I feel like I won because I did a big run down the side, and there was no one there, and I captured.
I feel like I won because in round 2 I got like 3 captures on my own in the first run.
Like. Well, I think most of our points in the last round were land rush.
Yeah, well, that's that. And I think that. So again, I was thinking that too. Other teams, some of them said to me, "We're learning by watching you guys." I'm like, damn it, because you can't hide your tactics forever, right? So we saw that, like in the round 2, the first comp, the first competition game, no one ran, but we did, and we just went boom, and I got 3. Yeah,
that's
and then
12 points.
Yeah, and they were like, holy crap! And then the next time, the Whiskey Squad guy, I think it might have probably been Casey. I said, you do this, go up the hill. I'm going to go on this path. Nora and Blair, you go up that way, and whatever else is going on, you run with our guns, right? And then Ewan starts running, and he's a big lad, he's tall, and he's trudging along, and then just gets dusted. I think Casey just goes, vroom, and he goes, I'm screwed, sorry. And no one ran after me because I'm an old guy, and I don't know why. But I went 1, 2, 3, and then I died in the corner. But you know what I mean? And so those are all epic moments that we had from within it. But you've got to thank everyone on our roster, because our roster's, I think, it's about 10 of us. 10-ish, yeah. I tried to get the team. I wanted the squad to between 8 and 12, so we always could bring a team together. Prizes made that a little bit tricky in my head, but we managed to work through that as a squad, how we would deal with that. But it was definitely nice to have those guys fill us out, because my goal was to have the front 6 players to every round,
because that's important. That affects your scoreline as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, advice to anyone going into next year: you need to make it to every game. I think because of those points, it was really clear. Like if you're right, we don't know what would happen, because I can say what if, but if the Predators had made it to the first game, which they probably had no idea even existed, if they'd made it to the first game and had scored anywhere in that top points, we wouldn't have won. So one of the big things was we were consistent, went to every event that was available. So I think that's been really
you guys
important.
would also compete differently as well.
Yeah, true.
There's a possibility that we wouldn't have even come back. Like it probably wouldn't have got serious. Like if we didn't happen to have won the first round, and that kind of got the fire in our bellies. But potentially,
that's a really good point, because there were teams that didn't go on to do this to do the series, and like they all have their different reasons for not competing in the championship. But for me, it just feels like everything got left on the table, and it would have just been so interesting to have seen how those teams would have progressed. Because I feel like you guys progressed every single time that you were competing. Because like the championship is brand new. Like the framework is brand new. Like everything about it is so different. So you guys are also like learning about each other as well,
Mm-hmm.
and how you operate as a team, and think like when I'm watching the paintball and watching all those pro teams, like they are a family. Like they are so tight, and they, they're working together all the time. And if they're not on the same page, if one person isn't on the same page, like it's detrimental to the team.
I've been watching the Blackburns the other night. Yeah. Oh, and they're just so on and keyed with each other. Amazing. Good.
I think like because Nora's based in Auckland, Grant is based in Cambridge. Right. Yeah. So and then the rest of us are in
Tar and friends.
Yeah. So and even then, like these guys didn't have comms, so I lent them comms. So if we had gamed together as a squad and tested our equipment together, and even to the point like who can bring a DMR, who's got what have we got, and if we were outgunned, we outranged, and I basically got my PTW, whacked the longer barrel and put a suppressor in it, so I got a DMR doing whatever 1.2 joules, so 1.3, not hot. But we didn't. If we were organised in that way, we maybe would change our tactics. But things like getting your comms working, and I don't know if Gene Neville, what's his wife's name? I keep forgetting Gene's wife's name.
Well, last time I said her name, I pronounced it wrong.
Oh, okay,
so I won't attempt it again.
So, okay,
but we love her.
Yeah, Stokes too. They play together a lot, from what I understand. So they know each other. They and that shows, right? Because you see the three of them, and then the other three I didn't know who them as well. But they didn't seem to run like it was those three who were tight. I'd always, if I saw Gene, it was the three of them from both events, and even when I've seen them at other events, they're tight. So playing together, knowing how each other plays. I was so frustrated with our comms quite often, and it was like because no earpieces and trucker mics, so like a decent head, like a Boonie or something like that. A Bowman would be better. So it's kind of like I'll invest. It's like $30-40 sort of start buying kit so that I can loan it out. But yeah, I'm testing that with my kids. Is this working? And I'm replacing microphones because you get these cheap units that go into JK and buy a new microphone, solder that in.
Microphone.
It's better. I can hear people now, and then trying different antennas. But even like so Andre, who is part of the Beebs but wasn't on the squad, so he played solo on the other team. He had a whole lot of kit, and so he was going to me, what do I take? What do I need? And he brought way too much stuff. Literally, poor Tim couldn't really fit the back of the car. And then Andre's going to me, he's around over the weekend, I think it was, and he's like, help me with my kit. I don't know what I should be taking. I might be taking too much. Here's my bag. That's all I take away from it. You don't need anything more. So I think that all comes from experience and stuff as well. And like I take 2 sets of camo. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get sweaty if not wet in the first one, so I'd rather not run around in dirty stinky socks, and I need 2 pairs of boots.
Need some red bands, man. Scarlet red bands.
I get wicked. I've got what do you call that foot thing? No arches. They won't put me in the army because I've got bad feet, flat feet. So I can't wear red bands. They give me shin splints.
They won't put me in the army because I don't want to be.
Too old now. Unless there's something really bad going on.
That's if the world doesn't turn to shit. Then I want everyone.
I have a question for you, changing subjects. What were your highlights?
My highlights. Well, like I've already mentioned, doing the thing. Highlights. They're all they're all pretty unique. Like the first round was unique because it was our first one. And then the second one definitely was the round where we're like, okay, this is taking off. Like we're because we want to do it at scale. And that was probably the first opportunity we had where we felt we had that scale that we were kind of looking for. So that was great. But then like the third round, and I think the second round was also good as well because we kind of set that the standard of expectation. Like if you want to muck around and break the rules, we will penalise you, and the system works really well from a penalty standpoint. But it was there's there's a lot of, like airsoft in general, when we're just playing club games, it's like you don't need to be cracking down on people. It's like you might tell someone every once in a while to pull their socks up and just chill out.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
In terms
You're
of
right.
winning and losing.
It's like, if there's someone being malicious, that's when you'll probably step in and say, hey, look, like just settle down. Otherwise, you might need to go home. But it was more that shift of like, this is a sport. We have rules. And if you break one of those rules, we are not concerned about, we're not concerned about sportsmanship or anything like that. It's just like it's very black and white. You've broken a rule. You're going to incur a 2-point penalty. Once you've had your penalty, off you go again. Which also made us realize that there's a lot of emotional stuff going on. I think part of it is airsoft has become hypersensitive with sportsmanship and integrity. Those two words get thrown around all the time, and we've become really, really overly sensitive towards that stuff, and so people get very emotional. So it's been really, really nice to have like a clear set of rules, and it's like the rules are changing all the time because we're watching what people are doing, and if we see people gaming the game,
it's just learning curves, right? After round two,
every single round we've made tweaks to the rule set.
We've had to adapt to that. You see the rules coming in, or that's what it is now. That might have to change. Something that some tactic that relied on it. Okay, well, we just have to.
Yeah, and it can be simple stuff like at the third round we seen, I don't know if they were a team, I'm not 100% sure, but they had their TQs down around their wrists underneath their uniforms, and when they got shot, all they'd have to do is quickly get someone to slip it up their arm. So they were medicing very, very quickly, and it's within the rules, the specs of the rules. But for us, that's not our intention for the medicing rule. So we're like, cool, like we have no issue with what you guys are doing for this round of the championship. But we will be going back and we will be adding some more detail to the medic rule to just make sure people aren't doing that, because it's and this is what I mean. See, someone would look at that and go, that lacks integrity, because you're kind of like taking the piss, but we're very black and white, very intentional about what we're doing. And I've had to pull some of the marshals up over this, which is that they've had good intentions, but they've created a little bit of confusion, and it has to be black and white. So when I found out about that situation, because it was a concern, I was like, it's not in the rules, so they are welcome to do that, because we only penalise based on the rules. They are not breaking a rule. There's no malicious intent in that. It's just they're finding the quickest way to medic. So, but
it doesn't matter if it's malicious or not. Like, they might be doing it, this is, they kind of know that it's dodgy and they're doing it in an intentional way, or they might just be thinking, this is clever and efficient. It doesn't matter from a rules perspective what the intention is. It just matters if it's in the rules,
if they
or
broke
not.
a rule or not.
And if you've got your vision is no, the whole point of the TQ is it's using up a bit of time. I mean, you could just say 10 second on the shoulder. It could be the same thing. So there, you just create, well, you've got to use this prop and you've got to spend 10 seconds using it. These are the rules.
My brain was going, well, if that was allowed, just adopt it. And all of a sudden, everyone's just very no, but get what I mean. Like,
but you've got to solve the problem.
If that rule wasn't changed, and I saw a team do that, well, that makes sense. I'm doing that next time. So
well, it's like I put the RFID tag on my gun, and a couple of people, because you're doing this, it's quite hard getting it on the device, and so a couple of us, you just put it on you're right-handed, you put it on the right of the muzzle of your gun, and then you just come up and you just go
Yeah.
done, and then people,
Yeah.
and I guarantee next game, a bunch of people would have done that.
Mm-hmm.
because
So
they've
for
seen
me,
that.
like,
Or the rules would have been changed.
Yeah.
Or the rules-
So
it has to be on the rest.
So it has to go on your
TQ,
wrist.
I saw
Yeah.
one of the guys had it on his Velcro on top of his. I went, that makes sense. So I
Mhm.
started wearing my TQ up here.
Yeah.
I Velcroed it to my
Mhm.
plate carrier at the top on the Velcro strap.
Mm.
So I saw someone else doing that. I went, well, that makes sense. I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
you
don't-
might
yeah.
say, okay, it has to be in a pouch.
Yeah, because
Well,
I had it in the pouch.
whatever you want to
Yeah.
put in place. And
Yeah.
that's just is what it is,
Yeah.
and you have to roll with it.
Yeah, for like using that as a particular example, with a medic rule, like the purpose of it is to remove someone out of play for a minimum amount of time until they are medicked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we had in that particular situation,
Remove two
we
people
have a
out of play.
we have a
Mm.
choice, which is was that the mechanic that we wanted for that particular
Mhm.
rule?
Mm.
If not, we need to change it.
Yep.
Because people were finding ways to do it quicker than we want.
Yep.
Or, like you say, if we see someone doing it in a particular way, which is just a good way of doing it, but it doesn't interfere with the particular mechanic that we're trying to create, then
Mhm.
go for it. But yeah, we've seen the wrist thing, and we're like, oh, it's very that they're thinking about it.
Mm.
They're finding better ways of doing things. We think that it just affects the mechanic in a negative way.
Mhm.
So we're just going to just alter the rule because we don't want the medicing to be this like
It's
literally like 3-second thing. We
Yeah.
want them to do it in a way where it just requires X amount of time.
Mhm.
And then from a game design perspective, it's what is the rule that is going to achieve that goal?
Mhm.
And there are numerous different
Mhm.
ways, different rules you can put in place in an attempt to create that. And it could be, it has to be in a pocket.
Mhm.
It has to be this. Or it could be, put the TQ on. The TQ is a visual reminder, but you have to count slowly to 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's
Mhm.
lots of different ways
Yeah.
to achieve that through a rule change. So then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if I do it that way, what else is that going to affect?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best
Yeah.
tweak to make that will best achieve my goal without having some other butterfly
Mhm.
effect?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people will they'll come to us with a query or a concern.
Yeah.
And we'll give
Complaint,
we'll give
criticism.
them and sometimes we'll give them a very direct answer.
Mm.
And on the surface, they might think, oh well, like I really disagree with that. And
You can't change rules in the game. Though,
No.
don't you?
Well,
No, because you can't communicate the change.
but
It was really major, and you did it at lunchtime.
yeah, but what they don't realize, and which isn't necessarily, we don't expect them to necessarily understand. What we actually expect is for them just to listen, whether they
It's
like it or
gotta
not. Is whilst for them on the surface it might seem like this easy thing, but what they don't realize is that specific thing that they're talking about, we've actually had to put multiple things in place and that's why we have to do it that way, even though they look at it and go, oh, like I don't think this is fair. Why can't we do it like this? And it's like we sadly short on time during these events, so I don't have time to sit down and unravel this thing that's actually far more complicated than you think.
The onion you keep talking about.
And
We've had. Oh, here you go.
I was going to say, like, so with the penalties things and introducing, I think is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really clear the more we play and the more fatigue we get, the more mistakes we have.
Mm-hmm.
So multiple people leaving dead rags on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Not like Tim did it.
so
Like,
much.
and I'm shouting at Tim.
Because
Tim,
I
you
don't,
got dead
I
rag
don't
on.
usually run it.
Yeah.
Like in
Yeah.
a club game,
Yeah.
this is sufficient, but
There's
I
a lot of
don't
people that
usually
don't run
really
it.
use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was forgetting.
Yeah. So and the guy got you had an altercation because the
Yeah.
guy's like,
It wasn't an altercation,
Yeah.
but he did.
Oh, he
was
wasn't
like,
happy,
"You
yeah.
didn't do your bleed out," but because I'd mucked around and I was so confused and just, am I alive? Am I dead? Am I I literally didn't know whether I was alive or dead, and I found him later and said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he was like, "It doesn't matter."
Yeah, and like
That's cool.
I got footage of one of the guys, and like he's sniping, and we're like, dude, you got your dead rag on, you got your dead rag on,
Yeah.
and he's like, what, like, he's you know,
Yeah.
so we so like one of the things I've noticed with my footage is that I can't speak,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, run to the tree, stone,
Yeah.
and it's like a barn or it's a container, and I can't think of the word, and so you're sitting there and you've got competition going on, you're running around like a blue ass fly, I think it's the right term, and you're doing all this stuff, and then you're trying to play by the rules, and you're tired, and so mistakes happen, and if you get penalised, you have to suck it up. And that's there, so that there's integrity within the competition, because you can't impose, oh, it's okay for him to run with his dead rig on because he's new, noob, let him do it, and but that person can't, because he should know better. You just got to go, sorry, dude.
And the marshals should be a little bit more clear-headed, because they're not in that heightened state. They're just kind of there.
And 100%.
Maybe an epiphany, but it should kind of be obvious. But you're very focused.
Yeah.
You're carrying all this energy, very focused down your weapon, and you also got to be all aware of all this other stuff, and lots of other stuff, from very esoteric things to just where am I standing and what's my ankles doing and stuff. And, you know, really intense, and then you get schwanged in the side of the head by a bunch of plastic. And you're supposed to go from that to just hit. And suddenly you're pleasant and nice. And so, no, that does not happen. And there's so many examples of people just blurt out the randomest stuff in the moment. You just get schwapped in the face, and then you just, and what's your MED? You yell out some just, not even words sometimes. It's just a bunch of, I'm watching my footage and I'm just going blah, 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 blah. And no wonder no one could hear me on the comms, because I wasn't speaking words. And then that happens, and everyone sort of goes, whoa. And then, like, literally 10 seconds later, everyone's having a wee hug and a fist bump, and everyone's fine. Oh, no worries, bro. It's all good. But there's that moment of, like, release of all of this energy that you're holding. Not to say that you should just scream at people, but there's an understanding that potentially what someone yells at you when you hit them, or when they hit you, call your hats, you know, they're just jacked.
Well, it's kind of like
a moment later, you're all laughing together as you're all sitting there dead ragged and just having a yarn with the opposition, and it's fine. But there's that moment of like,
and especially when you're in pain. Like there's the last game the last club game that I went to, someone, I don't know who it was, but someone just,
it was me.
Like, no, well, you were beside me.
I was on your team.
But
yes, it was me.
Someone just got a high-powered BB clean through all. Like, I didn't see it coming. And it sconned me straight in the forehead, and it was like, it made my like skull vibrate. Like it was just like immense pain. And
were you wearing a helmet?
No, I was wearing a hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it got me between my hat and my eye pro.
If you're wearing a helmet, it'll find a way to snake.
It was like, I had like a leaf suit on with the hood on, and it like, beautiful shot. Like, I don't know who it was. You've done a fantastic job, but I just needed a good minute to regain my composure because I was just in so much pain. But once I did, I'm like, awesome, and super stoked for you. Like, didn't see that one coming. Like, good on you.
It was cool that you got to play. Like, you turned up, hey, you're actually playing the game. You're not wearing special effects things and running something.
That is that was my 2 hours of prep for like a 40-hour Milsim.
Going
I was actually really impressed. Round 3, just how like little aggro I saw.
Everyone was really well behaved.
Kind of reasonable amount of this is a stressful situation, and kind of more stressful because it's competitive as well, and we're all getting salty at each other. But then, like, within a few seconds, and then there's footage of me, and I was just like, "Oh, why did you do that? I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm just salty at you because I'm losing." And he goes, "No, I get it, dude." And it's all. We had a little cuddle, and it was fine. And you're chatting with someone, and it's all good. Like,
and I do like from my perspective, watching each event, I do think that watching the airsoft league versus watching like club games and kind of club level events, I do think because we're attempting to be very consistent with our rule set and enforcing the rule set, that I think everyone's realizing very quickly that we just can't get away with acting like arseholes. And because like say there's a big difference, and so I'm watching what people are doing, and when I see someone get hit and I can see it's very obvious that it was uncomfortable, I'm like, I fully expect that person to have a moment, whatever that might sound and look like. But what I'm watching for is what they do afterwards, and I just didn't really see any bullshit. Like there was like maybe over the 2 days, like maybe one or two people that just had a bit of a debate backwards and forwards, but then they got pinged for it. So it just then tells those players, oh, like we can't do that. Otherwise, we're going to get penalised points. So there's no point even doing it. Whether you think you were in the right or the wrong, there's actually marshals here watching you, and they'll penalise the both of you. So I do think there is, through consistencies and not pandering and not turning a blind eye, I think people just kind of keep a more level head, because they're just not going to get away with like flying off the handle. Because we've all seen that. Like I've seen that over the years, countless times, and it's like, it's always unnecessary. Like every single TAR briefing that I've been a part of, it's always like, hey, just like respect each other. Like there's no need to be flying off at anyone, etc., etc. But every once in a while it happens because there's no real
consequence.
There's no consequence. Yeah, like it, over the years, like every once in a while, someone gets told to just like, go cool off in the car park. But that's because they've just had like a massive heated argument with someone.
It's a social kind of gathering, and you deal with it in a social way. Like you might go, come on, man, let's have a sit down and we can talk about it. And you're not, because it's not a competition, so you're not slapping penalties on people because it's not what we're doing there.
And it's just not acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like we won't turn a blind eye to
it. And for like the league, the players have got to turn up. They've got to come to the table in that, because airsoft is fundamentally based on honesty. And when you're not near a marshal, you just have to call your hit. You don't have paint on you. No one can prove. There was a moment, not to blow my own trumpet, but like right at the end, the last dying minutes of round 3, and we just had to get any points at all. I was rushing down this hill, and bullet pinged off my gun, and I heard it, and it went ting, very obviously, and that was it. Like that was, if I died, there was 2 minutes to the end, and that was the end of my game. And I sat down in the mud, and for like a moment, I was like, nobody saw that. I could, but not that there was any question, because I wouldn't have won knowing that I, and so I just sat there and went, okay, that's me. It was fun. Second place is good, or so be it, and had sort of resigned myself to the fact. But it was just curious to watch my brain go, ooh, no, and
to have that kind of internal dialogue.
It was like I was sort of watching that happen internally, and then no, that's cool. And I got up, and then that was like, it was a dark sort of a moment, like all this effort that I'd done over this like a whole year, this big emotional journey, and just to be sitting in some mud, just being like, should I cheat? It was kind of dark. And then the comms came through, 10 more minutes. Oh no, I just come to terms with second place. And now I got to get up and run around for another 10 minutes and actually care. And
I need to put a pin in that second place feeling too. Because our bad mouth and my bad mouth. I don't know if we do that now or so. Basically, we were chasing the predators, right? So one of us were going to be. It was quite clear either of us were going to be overall first or second, right? And I had calculated the gap at 50 points. And so I'm sitting
50,
there.
it was 55 that we had to not lose by.
But you just ruined my story.
But at that time,
but, yeah.
This is different.
No, because I was basing the whole thing on 50, and I was like, we've come second, and then Grant's like, why are you saying that? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. He goes, the gap's 55. I'm like, it's 50.
Oh yeah,
and
so
then,
you thought you'd added the number.
Yeah, so I thought we'd come second, and
Yep.
so I was sitting there, and then Grant goes, no, it's 55, the gap, and I went, what? Someone look it up because I'm not googling numbers right now. And someone got their phone out, had a look, and did the calculations based on what was on the website.
Yeah,
at 55, I'm like, holy shit, we've won.
Yeah, and that sucked because we did that last 10 minutes, the overtime. Thanks, Marcel and David. And even at the end of that, we weren't sure. And the numbers have come through, but there's not necessarily the finalised and this and that. So I kind of didn't dare to hope. And we came back to the car, and I was just like, I think I'm just going to hold on to this feeling of second place a little bit. I don't want to. I can see the numbers, and then I think you said, "Oh no, we missed it by 2 points or whatever it was." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I can sit in that, and I'll be okay with it." And then Grant comes over, "Oh no, I think you've miscalculated." And I was just like, "I do not want to hear this. Don't give me hope.
I'm just going to wait till Jono says something. I don't want to know.
I'm going to wait until
so
we are in the prize giving, and he says."
Yeah,
and that's when I'm going to believe it's true. But
sorry.
What a freaking roller coaster!
And if you look at the photos, like the photos of us, we look fucking miserable.
And
there's because we're shattered and we're tired. And I don't think anyone's taken a photo. So there's actually no photo of us for the first place. We were actually because no. So it was really weird because I was trying to piece a photo together. We were all kind of looking in the same direction.
I never look at the camera, so that I stuff that
I've got you kind of clapping. The one I ended up creating one that was somewhat, but it was like wow. And I was sending the photos to mates, and they're like, "Dude, you guys don't look really happy." I'm like, we are shattered.
Yeah,
we are wrecked.
And emotionally, for me, that was tired, but I was just brain dead. Yeah. We came back at the end of the round, came back to the car. And we just all stripped off our gear and boof, and we just went to our separate cars. Yeah. And I was like, oh, we should have got a photo. We should have got all the gear on.
We did it.
And then gone, look, that's all I would. But no one was thinking like that. No. Everyone was just like,
I'm done. I want a shower and a cup of tea.
Get back.
Come on, cup of tea to shower.
To be honest, though, the photo situation is it's a good example for me and Jono as well. Because prize giving was way later than it was meant to be, because Jono was still doing some pack down at the field, and I had this whole plan of exactly how we were going to do everything. We had the intention that we were going to do interviews with all the top 3 teams, and because everything blew out, and I was certainly feeling the pressure from the crowd to be like, get on with it. Yeah. That we just had to scrap some of the things we wanted to do.
I don't know that our interview with us would have gone very well.
During the event, the organisers were telling us all to be on time, and if you fuck around, they're going to. I'm being mean here. Yeah. If you fuck around, you're going to get sent home, and you be adults. I'm like, he tells us off every time. I'm getting told off by Jono again. And anyway, so we get to the prize giving, and originally the prize giving was going to be in the field at 4 o'clock or 4:30. Yeah. And Jono convinced me to call, because we were all in a hall sleeping overnight, to get the hall for the prize giving, because you wanted the photos. You thought it'd be really good to socialise. So we said, okay, fine, did that. And then I think you moved the time to 5 o'clock or 5:30, something like that. But then Jono was stuck, and it was about 6:30 or something. I can't remember what time we started the prize giving. It was late.
It was 6:30.
Yeah, so people were 2.5 hours after they've been slogging around.
My wife thought I was coming home that night. Yeah. So I'd sent her the schedule, and she thought we were going to do the 4 to 4:30 prize giving at the field. And then she texts, I'm sitting down at the prize giving, comes up on my phone, are you on the road yet? I'm crap. Damage control.
Oh, so you didn't put it in the calendar either.
No, I did, but I... just straight miscalculation. But she was like, he'll finish at 4:30, and then he'll drive, and he'll be home by 10.
I'm only
I'll be home tomorrow, lunchtime.
I've got kids. But so it was you could see, like you're saying, so that for the audience, it was the fact that the people that had planned to go when they were staying, and then they were staying even longer. So even the locals are sitting there going, "Oh man, I think it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock time we finished."
I
can't remember either.
I did not want to look at the time.
So,
It just freaked me out even more.
I'm really surprised your highlight wasn't watching Jono, the other Jono, J2, getting kisses on the lips, on the cheeks by grown men. And I've never seen that boy go bright red as he did that night. He did it well. So you should keep doing the speeches and keep making him give out the prizes.
Yeah, that wasn't in the script at all.
But I don't know. I kissed him. I don't know who else did. I groped his ass at one point. Sorry, not sexual harassment.
That was prize giving was definitely interesting. But it's a good venue. Everyone we got a lot of good feedback back from like sponsors and things like that. They were real happy with the how it looked.
It was real nice pulling in because we stayed there at the UX event. It was nice pulling in and being like, oh, this is familiar. It feels like home a little bit. And just like, pull up the mattresses.
Having a shower. My gosh.
Even a very quick one. It was in a line of like 10 people all waiting, jostling to get in.
Right. There was no real like, you guys did fight, but like, I think Ryan and I were first back and Ryan's like, I need a shower. I'm like, you go for it, bro. And then I think I was maybe third.
I think we got back a bit later, so there was no line.
Anyway.
Cool.
Showering habits and airsoft.
And then all the poor people who turned up for the prize giving, and kudos to all the people who like weren't getting prizes who actually turned up. We were sort of saying no one will turn up, like it'll just be the people.
It'll be the top 3 teams, and the 3 individual.
And the occasional.
But
spot
no,
prize
other people did. Like they showed up, which was cool, and none of them had showers, and we were all like comfy. And it was quite nice. Making our coffee.
Speaking that, like kudos to Frenchie, who came to the first round with his dad as a disruptor, and then competed in 2 separate teams for both the second and third round.
Wow. Different teams.
And he came to the prize giving as well, and he wasn't in the podium teams.
Oh, wow. Well done.
He's a young dude. He doesn't have to be there at the prize giving, and he's followed the entire championship the whole time. So
that's cool, man.
Oh yes, I think I know who you're talking about.
I met him, but I just can't picture his face.
Frenchie's the dude that you wouldn't. He is the RDX boss unit.
He had the wrap around like your glasses, safety glasses.
So hard to recognise. Everyone's just a sea of multicam.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, have we met? Like, yeah, bro. Take off the mask. I know you.
That's that's the struggle of my life. There's people coming up to me, Jono. I'm like, I should know your name.
Do you recognise me?
But
now?
I don't right now. I feel really bad.
You're a celebrity.
I'm not a celebrity at all. We're just the suckers that do all the shitty work.
You're infamous.
Oh yeah, to some people we definitely are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't please everyone, but it comes back to that thing of like, you make your thing. You make the thing you want to exist. And there's going to be some people who are into that, and they're just going to love it. They're going to, this is also what I want. And there's going to be some people who are just not going to. Like, for me, I'm not interested in serious Milsim. So you couldn't make a serious Milsim that I would want to go to. Yeah. And I don't bother because you shouldn't put effort into that because I'm not the audience.
Yeah.
But then there's this middle group, which, you know, they'll be open to it. So you do need to put effort into, like, I've got this thing that I love and I want to share it with people.
Yeah.
And yes, I can share it with these guys who are already going to love it. But then, I do need to think a bit about how do I share it with these other people how can I make it accessible to more people, essentially, without compromising the kind of, you want to lean into your weirdness and lean into your niche and lean into your special interests. And then you want to share that with other people and make it something they can enjoy as well. Might be something new to them. I think you've done a reasonable job of presenting things that people can come and be part of.
Yeah, it's especially with the league, like I think OPAF is an event that caters to a lot of airsoft players, except for the price point. But what's been what's been very, very challenging with doing the league is it's it's my understanding that that nowhere in the world has done this league. There's leagues that exist in multiple sports, but just like specifically like what we are doing and how we are doing it, we can't find anyone else that's doing the same thing. And like we've had to work alongside the developer of Skirmish just to make some tweaks to the system so it aligns better to what we're doing, because we're the first airsoft event series that's using the Skirmish system for competition.
Wow.
There's a shit ton of other companies that are using the Skirmish system, but they're using it just for airsoft, like kind of like we did with OPAF.
Yeah,
kind of really. I'm surprised at that, because you look at the website and it's got like national leaderboards. It kind of looks like something that
geared up for it.
is geared up for it.
Yeah,
it's
is
just the gamification of a thing.
Yeah, it is. So it's worked really, really
Kind of
well for us.
Yeah.
But just no one's formalized it into a proper competition. They still use the point system for like winners and losers and teams and things like that, but it's just never been at a formal standard like we're using it. And when you're doing stuff that people aren't doing, it's real isolating. Because it's like we have to draw on paintball, and I've said this many times. Paintball has done a fantastic job with like competitions, and airsofters hate to hear that shit.
But you don't want to be just paintball with airsoft guns.
And
you
again,
want to bring what's unique about airsoft into something that, it's a whole new thing that you're trying to create.
Yeah, and we can only draw so much from like the paintball leagues because it's speedball.
Yeah,
and so Speedsoft has kind of done things. I don't want to offend anyone and say it's the same, but it's very, very similar. But what we've done is completely different again. So it's exciting because you get to do something new, but it's also very, very isolating, because it's like we have this idea in our head. We have this way we're going to do it. We think that players are going to see value in that and they're going to enjoy it. But it's like, but on the other hand, I could also think that I'm crazy, and that only I think this has merit. And in reality, we're going to spend all this money, all these hours, and it's going to bomb. And it's never going to be, and you're never going to get across to people this thing that you have in your head. Sometimes it's like I really, really struggle to articulate the stuff that's going on in my head and be able to explain it in a way that matches up what's going on inside my brain. And it's terrifying at times, because there's also, someone can say something. They can say, "Oh man, like I think that's amazing," but they're just being nice. And they don't actually think that.
It's the nature of like trying to communicate an idea, because what I've got in here, I then translate into words and I push them out in the world. And if you hear them, even if you hear them and understand them, what happens in your head may or may not be even remotely similar to the idea that I had. And that is just the nature of communication. Because maybe bringing it down, but there was the whole thing about disruptors. And you said recruiting disruptors is part of it at a previous round. And in your head, it's pretty clear you were thinking, you turn up to the game, there's a bunch of disruptors there, you kind of recruit them into your side and get them to work with you, and that's cool, that's part of it. And all the players were like, sweet, we'll call up our buddies and get them to run with us. We all turn up with our buddies, and you're like, oh, no, not like that. That's not what I meant. And it was just a straight, well, you said one, and then what they thought was...
we started... it's a really interesting point, because we started to see, and this created some, I wouldn't say heated debates, but definitely some debates, robust debates, because what people need to understand is that the league is brand new.
Yep.
So every single round, we start off. So we did the first round, and we got all the nuts and bolts figured out, and we're like, okay, this works. And because for some people don't know, the first round was meant to be a pilot. We weren't doing the league this year. It was just meant to be a pilot to make sure that it was functional.
Yep.
And then we were going to spend the rest of the year planning it all out, getting everything figured, all the sponsors, all the locations, blah, 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 blah. But we saw so much merit in the pilot, even though it had a lot less players than we wanted. Fundamentally, it worked so well. We started having conversations with Gareth from AWI and other people, and other people were so enthusiastic about the concept. We're like, we have it. Well, we kind of have an opportunity. We have the capacity to actually run a full season. So we're like, do we want to be those guys that don't take an opportunity? Because it was like, oh man, we're going to be on the back foot if we do this. Yeah. But if we don't do it, have we just blown an opportunity? And I'm glad we did. Sure. We definitely felt like we were on the back foot. But the first season also required us to do each round, go back, review, make changes. Take those changes to the second round, review that round, go back, revise, make any changes based on the second round, and so on and so on. But whereas some people were like, no, we just want you to do it exactly the same, so it's consistent. And it's like, well, what you're asking us to do is do an entire season with flawed rules. And not be able to make the necessary changes until the following year, which would have also meant that we wouldn't have learnt from the second and third round, and we would be taking another subset of flawed rules into the 2026 season, 2027 season, and so on and so on.
You would have burnt goodwill out of the players. Because these rules are stupid. This is clearly
and you're not listening to the players. So what we realized is two things. One, we wanted the highest level of integrity for the league itself, and we wanted players to feel like that if they found something that needed to be changed, that we would change it. And we experienced that firsthand at the second round with changing sides. So that was, for people that only competed at the third round, because we had two new teams compete at the third round, so they weren't there for the second round. For them, changing sides has always been
the way it is.
But it wasn't. It wasn't until the second round where the players came to us and requested that we do that.
You're playing up a hill, like that uphill. Teams got an advantage.
Yeah, but I think that's really good too, because one thing you're taking away, well, it's the reason we lost is because we've had the wrong end of the field, and it's not. And like in round 3, swapping the sides, I found a huge difference.
But curiously, blue team still utterly dominant. We didn't manage to do to them what they did to us from the top of the hill. So that matters.
That comes down. So that comes down to team balance. So
but there's like little mini games, like even the land rush wasn't even. So the team at the bottom had access to 5 points to start with. The team at the top only had 4 to divide up amongst themselves. But then when you flip, it's the other way around.
Right. But like,
so lots of cool little things.
So it's like, again, I don't care about the team. It's the squads. So, you know,
I mean, like you've got 6 of us and 5 points.
It's how you're looking at this event. If you're looking at the event blue versus green, it's not. It's actually Whiskey Squad versus Predators and Carpe Diem versus what are we? Beeb Magnets
Gawker, aren't we?
Yeah, and then vice versa. So you're actually all
Yeah.
competing, and like to be honest, like there's a level of camaraderie within the squads and the team, but at those land grabs, we're competing for those points.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Yeah,
it as
and,
well. Like,
and like you know,
they know what it
you talk
is.
about. I know you talk about integrity and stuff before, but it's a very valid tactic. I'm not
Oh.
going to medic your squad.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
We
which again,
talked about that.
we
yeah.
talked about that. We went, well, actually, in a scenario where we 2 squads got wiped out, we would medic our guys first, and then we'd medic them.
Yeah.
We would. So we've got our objectives. So it's medic our guys, get the location, get the points, and then 100% we're going to come and medic our allies because it's our character to do so, and I would not live with myself to just leave a little dude there. Like that's. But also we're going to play the game first.
Yes.
And then.
So these are the
nice.
kind of discussions we were having as a squad. How do we maintain our sportsmanship and our integrity, and feel like we've played at a level of you know being good guys or whatever we want to call us, that we felt we were doing all right with, but still know it's a competition.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time we're going, that's pointless. It's a competition. Stop thinking like that.
Yeah.
And like you know, I'm on the hill going through the guys going, hey look, Blue's here and they're doing this and they're doing that. And they've just lost that. And, you know, we're going to do this. And they're like, cool, whatever. You know. So I was still communicating with them and saying what's going on, and regardless of whether they were another squad or not, but we were also going, go this way, let them go that way. We don't want to. We're going to go around there, and if they follow us, they're going to get points. And you can see that. Like, there's a few times we walk in parallel, and we're like, we're heading this way. And they're like, so we're like, okay, then we're like, do we follow? Do we keep going? And then it's like, let them get killed, and you know, it's like all that kind of stuff going on. So you are.
Do you guys want to take point?
You go in. There's no one there. There's just like one dude defending us.
Yeah, they've rushed, but you know what I mean. Like, so you've got that in it as well, which is quite different. And I think like as the rules are evolving, the squads are evolving as well, and the tactics. And once again, like you've seen every round, the squads have found ways of massaging the rules or just kind of bending a little bit. And like you said earlier, like it's really hard to get what's in your head out when you're talking. The only way you can do that is by iterating it and doing it. So I mean, maybe even 2026, like let's be honest, you might have to tweak rules.
Oh, for sure.
You probably got to a point that you're 99% there, or whatever random.
I think we're far. This is, and I would, whether we, you know, I believe that we would have 100% upset people by making certain changes. But I would not change it in a second, because what we were able to accomplish, what I think me and Jono were able to accomplish with developing the league is on par with what the players were able to develop within themselves. And if we had chosen to just stick with shit that doesn't make sense, just so it's the same every single time, would have put us back 3 years.
Oh yeah. You said earlier, like, we were just gonna do the first one as a pilot and then plan for a year on paper and then do it. My mind was like, that would have sucked, because you can plan on paper all you like,
doesn't mean anything.
but if you play 3 rounds, you knock the rough edges off.
Yes.
And then I think it was understood from a player perspective that you're getting a not a perfectly polished thing, and that you are going to have to adapt to changes as they come up, because it is a new thing. Like, I don't think anyone was walking in thinking this is a well-established, set in stone kind of a thing.
And you also had 4 months between rounds to like, if there's a change in rules, it's like you can think about it for 4 months.
But even if it's on the day, it's just an obstacle that we as a squad have to figure our way around. If we had a plan that depended on this particular thing, and you said, well, actually, and it's okay, well, we've still got to go out, we've still got to play, and we've still got to try and win.
That's also having
our job.
Yeah, that's also having a healthy mindset, which is not always an airsoft attitude. So,
but you'll at some point you'll have a mature rule set that makes sense, and you don't have to change it until some external factor shows up, a new technology, someone walks onto the field with the latest laser beam, whatever device. Well, and, you know, you're gonna have to go, that thing didn't exist when we wrote these rules. We're gonna have to tweak things. Like, I don't know what that will be, but it'll happen.
Yeah,
there's already a meta developing from a player perspective. Like, there's certain things that you ought to do as a competitive. And I'm seeing the other teams develop the same stuff that we came up with. oh yeah, I recognize that strategy because I came up with it. They came up with it independently.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So I like to see it.
And I completely lost my chain of thought.
Sorry, I totally interrupted.
You said you'd admit it if you did.
But yeah, it was definitely the right decision to play the rounds and polish them. There's so much value in that.
Yeah, it was definitely a strain at time to go ahead with the doing the league this year. But now when I look back on it, I'm like so glad we did because we knocked a lot of rough edges off, which at times upset people. But like at the end of the day, like the consequence of getting it wrong for them is nothing. For us, it's everything. And that's why sometimes we would listen. We would listen to some players, e.g. them seeing value in changing sides.
That was on the day, pretty much, wasn't it?
And we had a very logical reason for why we weren't doing that, and they came to us and they had a logical reason for why we should do that, and we're like, we don't know what the outcome's going to be. Let's do it, because it's just the data alone, and now because of that decision, it is now just a standard rule for the league.
And even like in round 3 with the added time due to the injury call, right?
Yes.
Like, so you've now got something to go, we can put that in the rules. If there is an injury and it takes 20 minutes for us to sort it, we'll extend the gameplay by 20 minutes.
Yeah. And again, it's, we hadn't had pause in the game before where we had to address that. And straight away, as soon as it was addressed, it's like, oh yeah, we have to have overtime.
Yeah,
because
you have to be the same length.
Yeah, because we want the games to be the same length, and we had to wait around for 10 minutes to resolve a problem. Again, thank you to Marcel, who brought that to our attention. Because honestly, as soon as it got brought up, I'm like great, that is something we can now put into writing. That was my thought that I couldn't remember before, which is where we have a rule set of 25 pages.
Yeah.
No one else has that.
Yeah.
And we had to put all of that together ourselves. And it's, again, we're constantly developing it because at the end of the day, what we're actually doing is trying to create a league that can be the best that it can be for the player, and for all players, because obviously we get players come to us and they're like, I want this, and it's like, yes, we are here for you, player, but at the same time, you'll just have to understand that we may say no.
Can I dual weld micro guns on the field?
So many questions about rules. This isn't the place for them. But I mean, we've been in a privileged position to be able to talk to you about this, just because we all live in the same area, and so I think we've got maybe an insight to some of the visions that you've had. We've had a few conversations where I've asked something and you've said, "Oh no, it's because I'm imagining it to be like this," and that really helps me because I'm like, "Oh yeah." So for example, the allied disruptor thing. And I think you said, no, I want it to be the 6 people in the squad who win it.
Well, we're watching
work.
We're watching nature play out, and sometimes nature goes in a different direction, and we go, ooh, we need to just mitigate that a little bit.
But you could play the other game. You could play it like you recruit your buddies and make a big army. But you're like, no, that's not the event that I want to make. Yeah. I want to make a squad thing.
Yeah, we had a maximum of 6 members in a squad, and you have 20. But
but if you want to gather some disruptors who happen to be there and convince them to run with you, then
you might just see things are different again for 2026.
Well, that was actually one of my questions for you. Is so, what are your hopes and what are your aspirations for 2026? Without giving away the dates and the location, obviously.
And the major rule changes.
like we're actively having conversations at the moment, looking at the framework of the gaming in particular, because as well, like we think that the league is really good and it's serving a purpose, but it doesn't mean that it's perfect. And I'd argue that anyone says that they've got a perfect event is full of shit.
And it's not all things to all people. It's just does what it does, and it's not designed to do everything.
Yeah. But we've always said that like we want it to be the best that it can be for the players, and if we're serious about doing that, we need to be forever analyzing, and that's what we've been doing all year. It's just like being like hypersensitive to what we see on the field and how we can make certain corrections that keep everything positive, and mitigate any bullshit. But then just like fundamentally, like, you know, looking at things like is having two teams the right way to go? Do we actually need, because we what people also need to understand is there are limitations for what we can do with both like players and also the hardware, because the hardware is like tens of thousands of dollars. But looking at our limitations and the scope of what we can do, it may be like, well, maybe having a mixture of so having two teams, which is a mixture of squads, individuals, and disruptors, may not be. There may be a better way of doing it. It may be having three teams. So it may be a situation where you have two teams of squads and individual championship players, and the disruptors actually become their own team.
That's a very common suggestion you hear out in the
completely
field.
separate.
Almost take the bands off them so they can't score.
And so they're turning, when a disruptor is capturing a point, they're essentially turning it neutral.
Yes.
And then all the squads are competing over it.
Yeah.
Which would change the dynamic so much.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people have like, oh, what if you did this? And that's one of the common ones.
Yeah. So like the disruptors almost becoming like bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could be fun for them.
For that, right?
And it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, they're like the marauders. They just there to actually completely disrupt, and they can't be recruited into a faction.
Yeah. And but then it's like, well, what effects are that going to have? Is that actually going to be super stink for the disruptors because they're just getting rolled by these like professional teams all the time, and maybe that's just going to ruin the day. But then like, what are these butterfly effect of different things that it's going to do?
So
they get full auto. Sorry,
and where do you put their fob and all that?
They get full auto
at 500 FPS with no minimum engagement distance.
Drum mags allowed.
Yeah. Drum mags, miniguns,
pool noodle swords and armor.
We're not content with what we've done. We are looking at it from every angle at how we can improve it and change it and keep it fresh, and having discussions with many people about, you know, hosting it in different regions, and things like that, retaining the regions that we already have. So then like it'll get to a point where the gaming side of it is pretty well ironed out, but then we'll be able to change it up by, you know, this year it's going to be hosted in these regions, the following year it's going to be hosted in different regions, etc., etc. So then players are, you know, and as well, like, you know, can we find more opportunities to play at you know, non-club affiliated fields and things like that.
It was
7-story CQB buildings.
It was cool rocking up to a brand new field and knowing that everyone was new to it as well.
That gets rid of, there's no home ground advantage.
It was
no one's been
daunting though, like turning up and go, oh, we have brought the wrong guns for this. It was but it was cool. Like I do a lot of conversation I had a few times, often while just sort of sitting there bleeding out with some randoms, and saying, this is really cool. And it would be really fun field if it wasn't pressured of a competition. A lot of people said, take the time to kind of appreciate how this would be if I didn't sort of care so much right now.
Yep.
I think
location.
Yeah, I think you can just do that in life in general. Like I've had many times where I've just like it just kind of like it just comes into my brain to like a funny thing is that I do every once in a while because my brain just does not turn off, which is look up.
Yeah.
Where I'm so hyper focused on like what's in front of me and what I'm doing. Like it's really interesting when I like look up and I'm like, oh, those are trees in the sky, and I'm like, god damn, like I don't do that ever.
The roof of the supermarket.
That's why snipers up trees. Get everybody.
Yeah.
No one's doing this.
Yeah, no one looks up.
I think it was, I want to say Kurt Vonnegut, and he had this thing that might not be the name. Imagine if you were an alien and someone was describing you going to the supermarket, and it would just be the most wondrous experience. He said, man, you just take something super mundane, walking down the street, and imagine that you'd never seen it before and you didn't understand it, and you could just go, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, if you could kind of like remind yourself to like think about the situation like it's the first time you've done it. And we always talk about like the first time we ever played airsoft and how like vivid a memory that is. And that's because it has a massive impact. And like it's like everything, when you've done it a lot, like you just kind of it loses that like that, I don't know, that wow factor. But when you do actually just take a second to like just stop, look around, just be aware of like what you were doing in your surroundings, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
I don't think I did that at all on that field.
Oh, really?
You were too busy
I
swearing.
I did have that conversation with you at one point.
Yeah.
You were like, it was one of the wooded areas, I think, and you were like, this is kind of nice.
Yeah, I think, probably, you might be right, yeah.
This question has been coming up in my mind lately. It's like, how come I'm into airsoft? Because like I've played paintball, and it's fun, and I would play it again for sure. But it definitely wasn't like, oh, I want to do this every weekend forever. And why does airsoft just done that? I'm like, this is what I want to like make half of my personality forever.
I ask myself that question all the time.
Yeah, it's a weird
when I'm like stressed out.
Cosplay tag with a bunch of grown men, but it's really fun.
Well, I
somehow
like traveling around different clubs and different events. It's the people that make it, right?
Yeah, hard.
And I think like we're very lucky for our home club that we're all, it's pretty easy breezy. Yeah, and we've all heard stories of other
I think it
clubs
ticks a lot of boxes as well.
Yeah. Oh, especially when you're sitting for the mountain, the Maunga, sitting and looking up and seeing it's a beautiful piece of land. Thank you very much.
Physical, and it engages your mind and your body, and it's very all encompassing.
But you can kind of see like if you see the like, I don't know the guy's name, but I've bumped into him a couple of times. The Māori fella, I quite like him. He's quite fun. And at UX, he's like pointing at me and like, what have I done? Why is he mad at me? And he's pointing at me. And I go, okay, I better see what I've done. I walk over and he's like, I've got a P92. So he knows who it is now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we've back. Awesome. And then when I saw him, like, where's your pen? Oh, I left it at Manukau. I'm not going to go. How long will it take you to get it? He goes, it's a 30-minute drive. I'm like, dude, I drove a lot longer. But, and chatting with him. He was a big smile and he was fun. And I think that's, I don't know if when I played paintball, because when I was playing paintball, it was you showed up, you paid your money, you played with whoever was there that night, you ran around with them, and then you went home because I was 19. I only had like $50 or whatever it was, and that was like 4 balls, and then you were doing leagues, and if you could convince 3 mates to come along, you're doing really well. And I think with airsoft, especially because one, it's so affordable.
That's also lucky for our club. Very affordable.
We come together so often. It's so much the same people. It's like when I took my 6-year break and I came back, and some of the same people were there. It's like, oh, dude, and like John, I keep saying it's awesome to have you back. I don't know if you always say that, but like like meeting you, like I remember meeting you before I went away because you were the boyfriend.
Yeah, it was a new kid.
Yeah, and then so there's that camaraderie, and I think that's probably one of the things for me. Camaraderie is one thing, and then just the breadth of how this hobby expands into, for me, 3D printing, the video footage, teching, making new mates, travel, sleeping in a hall with 9 other guys and listening to who's snoring all night long, all those kind of things.
I brought earplugs.
Yeah. So all these other factors that is there, that when I played paintball was on a Thursday night once a month, whatever it was, and it cost me $50. And this is like the 90s.
No hate on paintball, because they must have all of that stuff as well.
But not
in your experience.
No,
probably
here
not.
it's commercial.
I think I just went to like a 21st party or something.
It's commercially done. You go and you pay. You get all your gear. You get dressed up. You're around. But with air stuff, I own my own armory, whatever you want to call it. It grows and then it shrinks and it grows and then it shrinks and oh my gosh, how many have I got today? But it's different connection. And I suppose if I was playing paintball the same way, if you said
there must be clubs out
if
there.
they go tomorrow, we're going to ban airsoft and it's gone. But you got gel blasters. Or sorry, I feel for those that have only got gel blasters or paintball. I think we'd go pick one of those up and we'd run around a different way.
Yeah, I guess we would have to. Yeah, because you wouldn't just not do it.
Yeah, I mean, like
we'd do something.
Shift. Yeah. We'd all be nerfing. I don't know, but because
lasers.
That's like you've often said, it's just the tool. It's just the tool. It's what and so I think like the Benno talking about the guys in Australia and going to a gel blaster. Like, yeah, man, they go about 10 meters, and but you can still run around and have fun with them, right?
Yeah.
So I think you'd still have that, but yeah. So I think for me that's the difference between when I played paintball, and I played paintball for a couple of years, compared to airsoft, and I probably spent as much in a couple of years playing paintball as I've pretty much spent playing. Not true, but
like paintball is expensive.
Yeah. Was it
how
much for 100 rounds? Is like I can't remember now. It's not cheap.
Well, I did like with doing research with the leagues and things like that. We were doing some like financial calculations for like how much like these like individual squads, teams, whatever you want to call them, we're spending just on practice days. And it was crazy money. But like and again, like I watch paintball, I research paintball, and they've like the paintball industry, the leagues, it's like $multi-million a year. Like we got nothing on that.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges would be you can televise paintball. Like I watched that competition, and it was hard to see because it's like one fixed camera looking down. I'm like, what am I looking at? When you're watching rugby, you've got how many cameras capturing the action? And I was kind of going, we were talking about earlier, like to capture the action on an airsoft field, the scope. You're not talking a field of a baseball pitch that they're on, the diamond.
Can I give you what is it, a rebuttal?
Go
on. Golf.
Yeah, but you still.
No, but it's very predictable.
You're following individuals, and you're not.
So he's going to hit the ball
very
from
challenging.
This point.
Agreed.
Yeah, sure.
It's over a huge area.
You don't know. He's standing here, but he could hit the ball in literally any direction, and it might hit someone, or it might be super boring.
I think why I say that, and the point I would have is money.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you need a media team. Yeah, you'd not be doing it yourself.
Yeah,
you
if you could
televise a whole team of people doing it. Dreams are free.
If you could televise airsoft, then you could go get sponsors to say, "Well, we want you to wear the shirt. We'll pay you." Like, so it's paintball, they can televise it. And I think even that footage, I'm like, why aren't they getting different angles? Why aren't there multiple cameras? Like, was it a national competition, national championship, or international?
Well, the league has just recently signed televised what's the word I'm looking for, agreement with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be on ESPN though.
Yes, which is Disney Plus Sport.
Yeah.
But like, if I don't disagree that you couldn't televise airsoft.
It would be challenging.
It would be challenging. Cool when you pull it off.
Well, it's like watching. It'd be the Hunger Games thing, right? You have to have 500 cameras stuck on trees and fake birds watching because you never know. Because these sneaky guys, like there's footage we got confused at one point in round 3, and we've gone. There's no fence. We've gone into the creek. We've gone up and we started firing. We're getting hit. And they're like, "You're out of bounds." Like, what? You're out of bounds. And we're like, "Are we out of bounds?" And then we're looking and we're like, "Okay, well, we're out of bounds. Let's get out of it." But it was so easy to walk out of bounds. And so you've got to capture footage, and the teams can just be anywhere in the swamp. And, you have to have like swampy cams, and and so it would be logistically very difficult. But because paintball, it's so
as
easy
an
to capture.
arena.
It's easy to go and say you've only got 3 aside.
Depends on the format.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Their new 3v3, which again is like a new format that they've brought to a sport that they've been doing for a long time. But it's the same. If you look at all the media coming out for like the Speedsoft, they have a World Cup.
Yep.
Like,
but again, contained, right?
Yeah. But it's really. But what did we just do this year? Yeah. We just went and hosted a league in 3 different regions. So I think a lot of our hang-ups, like televising, that's a absolute monster for outdoor airsoft. Speedsoft, speedball, small arenas, way easier logistically. So yeah, I totally agree. That would be very, very challenging. But I would also argue that a lot of our hang-ups is all in our heads.
Oh, definitely. You can do it.
We've been told so many times that you can't do that thing, and we're like, I think we can.
And you can, and it's not televised. You don't have to have a live television show, but you could get a few cameras out there. Some kids with drones and some dudes running around with press shirts, and you could create a highlights reel.
The 360 cameras on top of your skirmish boxes, right? Just people coming in, like all those. You could do it. But it was logistically difficult.
You guys wouldn't be doing it because you've got to run the friggin' event.
Well,
you have to have other people doing it.
The thing is though, and hopefully people have noticed that, is that we have been dipping our toes into like different forms of media, and we're in the background actively having conversations with people saying like we have some ideas of what we could do, which would be viable financially. They could be done on small budgets, but we also have a problem of like needing the manpower to do it, because it's like I want to do all this stuff, but I just physically cannot.
2 people.
I can't be doing everything, and especially with the media thing, like our vision with that is we want to do it. We want to find kind of like the same thing with airsoft. We want to find someone that's passionate about the media side of things, so they can like so we can give them a platform to create their own thing, and they can just run with it with both hands, and it's just a matter of like finding that person. And that's definitely something that we've learned since doing OPAF 1, is like a lot of learnings is actually like if you can find someone that can do the job and do the job well, you should use that person.
Because you've got strengths, but you've got weaknesses as well. There's the stuff
100%.
that you're passionate and you're good at, and then I have to do this other stuff because it's got to be done, but you're not going to do it as well as this other person is, because it's their passion, and that's always going to be the case. You may have to do everything a little bit. Some of that stuff's not going to be great. So for sure, if you can delegate it, it's a no-brainer.
We can't do the particular special effects that we do for the OPAF series. But what we can do is we can get someone that specializes in that, and basically be like, this is what we want to do, and they're like, sweet, we'll just make that happen. Because we have the skill set to do it. And the outcome is it's expensive, but the outcome is like far greater than anything we could ever
flower bombs.
It's and so like with the media side of things, there'll be a bunch of things where like if we can, but again, like all dreams boil down, like dreams are a balance of hard work, but also money. Like I would have loved to have had a photographer at every single round. Couldn't afford it. I'm having conversations with photographers, being like, we need to build a budget to get photographers for the whole 2026 season, not just one round, the whole season. We need to find money to do it. It's just the fact of life. I mean, the spanner costs money.
Crucial
to come from somewhere.
Like all of that stuff, before you can get any of that stuff, you've got to have the players
Mm-hmm.
who are committed to turning up and being
Yeah.
competitive, which is, I think, what this last 2 rounds have been about and gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no point getting all that other stuff
Yeah.
unless you've got people turning up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
playing.
yeah. Well,
I'm
we
excited
could
to
tell.
see.
Me and Jono have this joke all the time that it'll just be us out on the field,
Yeah.
playing with a skirmish system, and we can
Yeah.
like videotape each other
That's
and,
right.
and all the rest of it. And
Yelling to your squad mate,
yeah.
who's Jono with a moustache.
yeah. That's a whole lot of money and time for something we could probably just do at home in our lounge.
I'm real excited to see some of these squads. Like, there's some cool play. Yeah.
Well, I guess
cool to see.
like, you know, one of those highlights for us, it was also seeing 2 new squads sign up for the third round because they're not competing for a championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, these are like those kind of isolated moments which I, you know, freak out about, which is like, oh, we're going to host the third round, which is the last round of the season. I hope that players still see merit in coming along to the last round because they're not going to be competing for a championship. And it's like, well, you know, we do have winners for each round, so that creates value in itself. But I had a really awesome, I had multiple interactions with Nigel, and I'm not going to say their team name because I butchered it the last time, but he knows who he is.
Do you want us to say it?
Oh, you can do.
Carpe diem.
Oh, thank you.
Seize the day.
Yep. And so they signed up for the last round, and Nigel was one of the ones that's like, tell me when the 2026 season comes along because we'll be there. Yeah. And those are, you know, when I have those isolated moments of like worrying whether this is all just madness, when I have those interactions, I'm like, they're the you know, people like yourself and people like Nigel and his team. They're the people that just kind of like settle the nerves and go like, okay, no, we're good. You know, just having someone remind me every once in a while you're doing okay. You're on the right track. But those are you know, the highlights to see teams see you know, merit in doing and coming along, doing the final round, and then be already thinking about the 2026 season.
Squads turning up that had no intention of competing, which is just like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
They're like, we're 8th place, and they were so happy. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I've, you know, and for me personally, I've come from sports where you can't get a podium finish for the first so many years. Like, you just got to chip away at it. Wow. And I had a conversation with someone just today that competes in similar sports where they're like, yeah, it's exactly the same. Like they'd done it at a professional level, and so for them it was their entire life. It's not just like a year or two.
It's crazy. Like, you know, you're a professional sports player, and you might just never win. The literal league that you're in, and then just there's 6 nations that win it every time, and you're
just
the
showing
8th
up.
nation. You're just there.
Yeah.
And you're not probably getting paid that much, but it's, you know, it's what you do.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And some some people come extremely close. You know, they've got second multiple times in their career and just haven't just come so close. You know, and it will be just one thing happened, and it stopped them from finally getting that win. And they, you know, they finished their career only ever getting second. And it's like you could look at that and go, oh man, that's super disappointing that they didn't get the win. But at the same time, they got second. And that was, you know, and they did that sport as a career, and a really great thing that I heard once from the golfing world which was in professional golf in the PGA. If you won 5% of all the events that you entered in your entire career, you'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah.
5%.
Wow.
I think it was a tennis player who retired recently, and he was giving a speech, and he said, "I've won less than half the games I've played, and like within those games, you win about half the points that you play on the game of tennis. And I am number one in the world, have been for a few years.
Wow.
So if you're out there playing tennis, expect to lose
half the time.
significantly more than
Yep.
I lose. Like just I can't remember, it was more than he won. It was about half or something. But you're not me, so you're going to be losing the vast majority of the time, and that's still good."
Yeah.
And he was talking to like a university. It's like, you're going to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. You're not going to be the top in the world. Only one person is. Most people aren't. So, yeah, it's okay. It's don't get sad that you're not number one. Like most people aren't. It's no biggie. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just going to say earlier, I'm really happy that we won by our 3 points. And I'm glad that it wasn't just because we turned up to all three. That was a big part of it. But because I would feel bad if that was the only reason. You know, I think we worked, and it was a freaking slog, and it was, you know, I think we earned it, and I'm proud of it. Proud of us.
I think you guys 100% earned it, and I actually disagree, because as far as I'm concerned, you can't win shit if you don't turn up. So if
that was
you
the
guys,
only reason, though, like if just turning up and kind of playing super average for all of them, and then we won, and there's the other teams that are just killing it out there, but they don't win.
No,
I wouldn't feel good with that. Like we really had to freaking claw it.
Yeah, well, one part of what you're doing is like, you give it everything. Don't leave anything on the table. So then you can't. So whether you
win or lose,
you go home and you're like, we fucking gave it everything. You know, you would be pissed off, and I would be pissed off in myself. And I've had these situations a couple of times in my life, and I've been fortunate that people have told me to pull my socks up and get on with it, because in those, you know, those low moments, you're like, I don't want to do this. Like, this sucks. And then you get pushed along, and you get over yourself, and you pull your socks up, and you go do the thing. And then afterwards, you're like,
so
man, I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself if I had walked away and done that. I would have been so disappointed in myself. You're far better to have given it, because you can't ask for anything more. Like, no. I wouldn't expect anything more from anyone if I watch them. You know, watching Casey at the last round, like that they didn't win the overall for the third round, but when I watch Casey, I'm like, that guy's not holding back. No, he's going full ham the whole time, and it's like, man, like I was super like a proud dad. I was like, oh, this is so good to watch, because he was giving it everything, and I'm like, that's why Whiskey Squad ended up getting third in the championship, because they were there to play, and I think that of all of you guys that got the results that you got, like everyone fucking earned it. No one fucked around. Anyone that wasn't going to get a podium finish. Like, end of story. Like all the teams that were like top four were putting effort in, and it just came down to like who put in a little bit more effort, or who just was in the right place at the right time.
We in our discussions, we made a distinction between competitive teams or competitive squads and just squads. So like, there's a difference. Like that team, they're competitive. That team, they're here. They're just playing, have a good time, you know. And they're scoring points, but they're not scoring points. They're not competing, you know. Whereas these dudes, you can see it in the way they're moving, the way they're talking, the way they're strategizing and stuff. They've clicked into it. Actually, and again, Casey, it's Tube Screamer, right? Yeah, I was watching at home from round 2, and I saw the moment he clicked into gear. It just the whole scoreline went. It's like, oh, who's this tube screamer dude who's turning up, pop, pop, pop on my screen? And he something in the second round, something clicked, and he went, and then he got I think he was going for the personal best, and he wasn't anywhere close to it. And it's something I'm going to get it, and he went and got it. And that was that.
I'm real
changed the whole game.
Yeah, I'm real interested to have a conversation with Nigel because he got the highest points as an individual on the leaderboard
in a squad
third
though.
round.
In the third round.
Yeah, but he was in a squad, so
yeah. But it's just interesting to ask those guys what they're doing. Because like say you can have this intention that you're like gonna be the dude or the girl to like get out there and just run around and like be grabbing all these points, but it doesn't always work out like that. So it's always fascinating to be like, how did he do that?
Well, with round 3, when the rule shifted that the squads couldn't compete for top points, that changed our approach too. So previously we'd go, hey, is anyone really keen to get top points? And we'd go, yeah, I want to have a crack at it. We'd go, well, you capture first. So we're interested to see if that was in his squad, if he was the one that was always capturing the start, because that's how you rack the points up. And we just went, sweet, we're not competing against each other now. Like there's no, I want to be top, or you want to be top. We'll just get in. So we had
whoever gets there first gets there, and we're just capturing as a group.
The idea was just wait until we could stack up. That shifted us. So in the past, I know that Ryan, because he won that the first time, he was really keen to be top scorer, so we put him there. And then the second round, Nora was really keen to be top scorer.
And then the third round, it didn't matter. So it was just whoever gets there first holds the point and waits for everyone else.
Yeah, there was definitely still some standout point scorers like
but then that would require, as a squad, it would require that you
Nora
just
got
put
second.
That person. She was just rogue the whole time. Like multiple times in my footage, there's just someone going, "Where the heck is Nora?" Or the other team being like, "Nora's around here somewhere. I just don't know where, but she's somewhere." We have no idea. She was just doing stuff and getting points.
So it's so that's kind of like another curious question as to I mean, you could kind of argue that someone taking off out of the squad to just like run around and try and nab as many points individually like stacks up, because both Nigel and Nora seem to have like racked up quite a lot of points. I don't like obviously you guys have mentioned that Nora was out and about doing her thing, but I haven't talked to Nigel yet, but I'd be interested to see if he had taken the same approach, whether he had kind of broken away from the squad and went off, or whether he was able to achieve that.
If he was doing
still
that,
as a squad,
a second person in the squad to also have a reasonably big score. Oh, no, not necessarily.
Because only 1 point is an assist, right?
If a second person, if the rest of the group was getting
like 30, 40 points, aren't you, as an individual?
I think Nigel was even higher than that.
60, I think.
But Nora was only like 30 something, or I'm mixing up my days.
I think by the end, I think they were up to 60.
Okay. It's pretty good. That's when you do the math. That's what.
It's like you kind of pick a goal and you have to work towards it, and then depending on what position you're in your goal, you're going to be doing different things. It's really I had a really good time delving into the rabbit hole. It's
so dynamic as well. It's like you can have that strategy and it just like not work on the day. Like
the terrain.
It worked like, maybe if I had a conversation with Casey, he could be like at Karapiro crushed it as an individual, but then at the Auckland field it just didn't pan out the same. Or he only had a couple of times where that worked. Every other time he just got lit up and it just didn't really work. It's so airsoft is so dynamic. You're not when I was racing GP bikes, your intention with like every corner, every straight is to hit the same identical marks every single time. And obviously it gets changed up a little bit when you're got riders like literally right beside you. But you're trying to hit these particular marks. You're trying to go around a circuit in the most efficient way possible. And you're trying to replicate that over and over and over again. Whereas like airsoft, it's like it's forever changing, changing.
Like adaptivity within the game, but I didn't mind the like changes in rules, and you just had to adapt to it.
Even the field changes. Like,
the field
so
changes.
even the field we played this
what do we do?
year, we go back a year later, it'll be different. There'll be elements that are different. If it's in summer, it might not be.
Did
as
you
wet.
turn up to that field on a really nice day when it wasn't quite so swampy?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this will be nice. There's a little bit of swamp over here.
It was. It was like, it just is what it is. Like it's hard not to be disappointed, but
I'm not disappointed. I loved it.
But yeah, when we went up there and did all the testing, there was only that one area where that spring is. So we're like, all right, that's always going to be like that. But everywhere else was dry. So yeah, that whole like kind of open area in the middle was just like bone dry. You could just run across it, no problem at all.
It was
and
cool, though.
but you know, and again,
Bonding.
I'm like the way that the weather panned out, it like, you know, started off shit and got better. Versus like the first round, it started off like really good, and then the second day was just catastrophic.
That's how I got my war crime, because on the first day I knew it was raining, so I just turned up in full wet weathers. And then I took my jacket off, but my armbands were on my jacket. And I'm chatting away to one of the marshals, just, you know, I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
And he's like, your armbands. Marched me down for a war crime.
You naughty boy.
Ruined my perfect record.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I got deleted because practice day gets deleted. So
oh, yeah, you're lucky.
Check my profile.
It's gone.
No, my profile, because I've only got one war crime, you see. I'm not actually going to.
No. He's realised what he's doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is the time?
Should we finish on that note?
So that was a good hour of talking.
So Timmy can
Told you a couple.
so Timmy can have a look on his phone to make sure that he
Not
doesn't
a
have his war
terrorist
crimes.
anymore. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You can thank me later for getting to delete it because it was screwing up my strategy when I couldn't get my numbers right. That's a request for the developers. Please get the time zone sorted out.
Can we have a southern, eastern
took a while to
hemisphere
figure that
time
out.
zone?
Yeah. That changeover. Yeah, I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Until it was only just recently. I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here.
They think we're in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not.
No.
We're down the bottom of the world.
top,
depending on which way you put the globe.
I seen Dave from Zulu on their last podcast. They had an Australian on there.
Yep.
And Dave goes, "Do you have to turn your hop up the opposite direction?"
Oh,
nice. We're on the bottom of the world.
The toilet swirls the other way, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I was like, that was very witty, Dave.
Yeah.
Very witty.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Until 2026, where we see you guys do it all over again. To now you're defending your title. Yeah. I only just thought about that the other day. I was like, oh, cool. Like now we got teams defending titles and teams trying to take titles. And
that was super not stressful. Round 3. So keen to do that again.
But now you know. You know that, like, you know, you can do
pro tip for the other teams: have a roster of more than 6 people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Like, what's everyone's pro tip? Is that yours, Tim?
Legitimately, just turning up to 3 games. That's money and time away from your family and work. And if you just go to 2, or if you have like 8 to 10 people, and then if people are sick, and that's what stymied the Gorka gang. They would have been in there, but they just couldn't get all 6 people together
at the same time.
Sorted out shade.
Well, no, I mean, just you recruit a couple of ringers and just have enough.
Don't be so elitist and make everyone wear the same outfits.
Yeah, just give them, if you're not going, just give them your suit, right?
Yeah.
No, anyway, but that's one.
Yeah.
Do the homework, man. sort of figure out how it works. And be like, oh, this is not how I regularly play airsoft.
Yeah.
It's actually I've got to do these specific things to make the points go to my team.
Yeah, for me, is not overthink it. Don't let the tactics overweigh the, like you said, the well, not impulse, but your learnt behaviours.
Yeah.
Don't try to force it, and test your gear before you show up.
Gosh,
Don't show up with untested gear.
That should be Airsoft 101, right?
Yeah, we'll buy nice new things. Like, I want to take my latest, greatest gun onto the field today and see why isn't it working? Oh, because you've never gamed it.
My pro tip is going to be when a marshal is advising you that you've broken a rule, don't then say to said marshal that you have read the rules. Because the response will be, it is your responsibility to read the rules and understand them. And when I'm standing here telling you that you've broken a rule, and then your response is, but I read the rules.
Yeah.
Obviously you didn't.
Just take your lumps.
Yeah, suck it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was amusing. I quite enjoyed that moment. But yeah, that is my pro tip. Read the rules, know the rules, and if you break a rule, don't tell the marshal that you have read the rules, because obviously you didn't. Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Right, until next time.